It's time for Full of Shit Friday. We're gonna watch some slop and make your day. The slop will flow, but that's okay. Because it's Friday, Friday. Gotta watch slop on Friday. We're gonna Friday, Friday. Gotta watch slop on Friday. We're gonna
Good. Oh, how's my audio even? I should check these things. Good afternoon, everybody. It's afternoon for me. It's evening almost. Welcome to The Slop Show. We're just watching stuff. And to begin with, at least, we'll be doing stuff that's not too serious, I don't think. We'll be on a pop culture sort of thing. The Sweeney interview that was heard around the world. Well, it's been shared all over the place. Just a clip of it. I've got something. It's 19 minutes here. So I don't know if they talk about some normal boring stuff, but basically the gist of it, what I know about it is through like Twitter and all of that. What I know about it is Sydney goes and gets interviewed by a person who is less attractive than her. Duh. And then that she asks about the advert, the very controversial "she has good genes" advert. And basically it's the same sort of thing that we've had in Hollywood, where it's like the public expects the celebrity to apologize and pander and carry on about how sorry they are for the reaction other people had to something they did not mean to be taken in that way. The offense that was not intended, they are supposed to still apologize for it. In which case, the apology of "I'm sorry if I hurt you," I suppose that's the one case in which I'd be okay with that. I personally have quite a thing with that. Anyway, we don't need to get on that. But yes, so she was supposed to run some defense, and she didn't. And that's the thing that everybody loved, is that she kind of owned it. So let's see what all the fuss is about. That's as far as I've heard. Is it as good as everybody makes? Like, is it worth the gangster, thug life glasses in the thumbnail? We shall see. Not to snub you. Yeah, thank you, 1 of 44. I was checking on you. Look, I know that the ats are the at things are going all over the place, but I saw you mentioning people with longer usernames than me. So I was like, oh, really? Anyway, thanks for coming by. Hey, Barry. Howdy. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. If there is time, we'll go into a more serious reaction video just to see what's up. Because I started watching the Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, and diagramming it, their interview this week. There's been the infighting, and that's basically what everyone's talking about online. So one of the other reactions or other videos that has also caused a bit of a stir, but politically more than pop culturally, although they're all mixed together these days, has been Sargon's reaction to the whole Nick Fuentes thing. Sargon explains that what's the name? Why Nick Fuentes is popular, and it seems like people got a bit upset with him for that. I don't understand. Did he say it was good? I don't know. We'll go and have a look. Also, apologize for any delay with this webcam. It's supposed to be working normally. Otherwise, we'll change it if it becomes too much of a problem. You did at me. I know you did. But only after I noticed you, because you were atting everyone else. I'm like, ooh, okay. Doesn't at me yet. I must be first. I'm kidding. It was just good to see you in chat on another stream. Okay, let's get the reaction going by Sweeney and GQ chick. I don't know who this person is. Okay. We've got 19 minutes. She does a bit of an intro thing, where they do like a the coming up kind of thing.
18-year-old.
And so sorry, just note that I'm good at my reactions, boys. We get 2 seconds in, and I'm like, I've got to pause. What's the name? The snippet of what happens here is that's not the clip that went viral. So usually, with the coming soon or not coming soon in this episode sort of preview, they give the best part. So this is what they thought the best part of this interview was.
Oh, like what does fighting give you at that time in your life?
The element of surprise.
Ooh.
That's it. That's what they thought was the best one.
You see the great boots.
Oh, interesting boots. Yeah, I prefer the boots to the shoe, to the little slipper things. Look who's wearing jeans. Also, this is, just so you guys know, as a woman, putting your legs like this is very dangerous, because if you're not as perfect as Sydney Sweeney, that's where you could show all bits of underflesh. Anyway, yes, let's get sloppy with Sydney. Yeah. All right, so here we go.
Great shoes too, Kat.
I know.
Thanks.
We pulled
This is
through in the
strong.
shoe game.
They're interesting shoes. You got that.
Strong shoe game.
I usually show up in my PJs. For whatever reason, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just actually get dressed.
Ah.
And then everyone like,
Yeah, she can't. Everybody now, she's just gotten everyone to think of her in her PJs. Nice move, Sydney. Nice. Everyone just thinking of you in your PJs, and we're like, what? Why can't you just come here and be comfy with us, Sydney? Like, you know what? Get yourself comfy. Take off the jacket.
yep. And I was like, wow, this is the first time.
I'm so flattered.
Sure, Sweeney girl. You don't dress up. You're not even wearing makeup. Shut up with your perfection over here.
Okay, so we're good? Okay, well, we're going.
We're going.
Okay, I feel really lucky to be talking to you right now in particular, because you're a producer with a film with festival.
I'm gonna have to put this much quicker. Like, good. Okay, so it's all the niceties. We're doing this.
buzz. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How does it feel to have Christy out in the world?
Oh, apparently this film has flopped. Actually, she's playing Christy. That's also another thing I've heard, but it's not because of Sydney being a political figure or something. It's just because it's not a good film. This is what I'm hearing. But yeah,
Christy is one of those projects and stories that, like, when you're making it, the crew, the cast, everyone involved, we all knew it was going to be something special. We had Christy with us on set many days. We would sometimes just like cry because of how powerful
oh
the
my
story is.
goodness. Okay, so what is this story actually? Hold up, Christy movie. Okay, I'm just checking this out. So, oh, it's a boxing movie. Christy flopped and Ruby Rose blames cretin Sydney. Ruby Rose. Oh, that's the thing that's happening now is people are upset. Well, Ruby Rose is upset with her. So let's actually just read this article for a sec. Ruby Rose said Christy Sydney Sweeney ruined the film amid flop. Christy deserved better. So it's Ruby Rose is I'm a woman, Batman lady, Batwoman. If I remember correctly. Following an underwhelming opening for Sydney Sweeney's latest film, Ruby Rose blames the Christie star for the box office failure. Okay. I can't do that. Do the accent. What do you mean by the upward intonation on every question? Like I'm trying to convince you of things. There's nothing wrong with speaking that way, except that we don't speak that way. So just get over yourself, Creamage. Okay. She's a boxer in the movie, barely looks like her. Oh, that's probably why. No, everybody just wants to see you in the silver dress, Sydney. I'm so sorry, honey. So the Batwoman alum, yeah. So sorry. Do you have a foot to stand on here, honey. Hey? Do you? You Batman, a Batwoman was horrid, and they kicked you out. Okay, they recast you with a black woman. So out of here. So anyway, the Batwoman alum says she originally she was originally attached to the biopic about boxer Christy Martin. Okay, so it's a biopic, whatever. Reacted to the movie's 1.3 million opening after Sweeney has come under fire in recent months for her controversial. No, you guys made it controversial. It's not controversial. It's just a pun, for fuck's sake. Controversial American Eagle ad. Sorry, my American Eagle t-shirt is in the wash, guys. I wear it regularly. So, which was accused of promoting eugenics. Yes, it was accused of that because you guys are flippin' morons. Okay, you're morons. That's why you want to be miserable. We've had this conversation, but I like repeating myself, I suppose. The original Christy Martin script was incredible, life-changing. I was attached to play Cherry. She wrote on Threads. Oh, so she works on. She's on Threads. Isn't it Blue Sky? Isn't she Blue Sky girl? Referring to another role in the film. Everyone had experience with the core material. Most of us were actually gay. It's part of why I stayed in acting. Losing roles happens all the time. Okay. Yes, it happens all the time, and it happened to you, Ruby Rose. We know this. Rose continued for her PR to talk about it flopping and saying Sydney Sweeney did it for the people. None of the people want to see someone who hates them parading around pretending to be us. You're a cretin and you ruined the film, period. Christy deserved better. Get a life. In another post, Rose corrected herself. Cretin's an ableist term. I thought it meant creature in Old English. I regret writing and should have just said psychopath. Oh, that's funny. You're going to get eaten by them at any point. There is a purity spiral, Ruby Rose. So RR and SS, yeah, SS is winning compared to RR, okay? But sure, just try and placate them. So she is clearly, Ruby Rose is of this opinion that I must now placate everybody and whatever. And even when I do placate, when I insult the person that we're supposed to hate, we got to hate on Sydney Sweeney, I've got to make sure that my language isn't too offensive. Oh, cretin. Oh, no. Oh, it's an ableist term. I'll just call a psychopath. Like, okay. Anyway. Deadline has reached out to Sweeney's team for comments. Sweeney's team said, that's what I'm thinking. Following TIFF premiere in September, Christy marked Black Bear's theatrical distribution debut with 1.3 million at 2011 theaters. The Euphoria star also served as a producer on the David McLeod film. Promoted alongside the real Martin, previously said she's so deeply proud of this movie despite its low opening. Thank you to everyone who saw, felt, and believed, and will believe in this story for the years to come. If Christy gave even one woman the courage to take her first step towards safety, then we will have succeeded, she wrote in part on Instagram this week. So yes, I'm proud. Why? Because we don't always just make art for the numbers, we make it for impact. And Christy has been more impactful, the most impactful project on my life. Thank you, Christy. I love you. So she's just carrying on with the best film. The film went down swinging. Yes, the best she can talk about it, the best she can say about the film. Oh well, didn't go the way I wanted it. I'm really proud of it. I enjoyed it. Blah blah. I hope she doesn't have. I hope she lets the fans take care of Ruby Rose. Okay, she doesn't need to lower herself to that point, right? Okay, let's see what happens on this here. So she's very happy about Christy being on set and everything.
And so being able to share that experience with the world and to be able to show Christy's story to the world is so impactful. And I'm beyond honored and proud that we were able to.
Okay, so you've seen that she says impactful, right? And then in her press release on Instagram, we can call it that, her post on Instagram, this freaking webcam is pissing me off, boy. Anyway, I hope it sorts itself out. Going back, she uses the word impactful, so it seems like they've prepped her, and this is how she's going to talk about the movie all the time is impactful. I love doing it. Doesn't matter. I hope the message is in it, apparently. After seeing the Freedom Tunes, I can't unsee how weird the interviewer's face and posture are. Adam was right. She's like cowering in the face of Aphrodite. Aphrodite. Okay. I'll see the webtoons one thing anyway. I hope I don't get claimed for this, but come on, everybody on the earth has reacted to it. Let me. Okay, so yeah, she's talking about it's impacting.
Bring the story to life.
In the beginning,
Sorry, we got another clips a lot. Is puns a lot as well. The film packs a punch. I want another one. We need 3.
it's also really fun. For context, like you've got headgear on,
Yes.
you've got a mouth guard in,
Yes.
and you are grinning as you punch people,
Mhm.
and you look completely unself-conscious and completely joyful. First of all, was it as much fun as it looked?
It was so much fun.
Okay. Yeah, this is what I suppose this is what this kind of interview is for, is to fluff ourselves up and enjoy. Okay, yeah, it was so much fun. Yeah.
I was over the moon. I felt like I finally came to life myself through Christy. We really shaped every single fight to match Christy's fights. And so all the different combos that you see me doing are the actual combos from the fights. And I had the best girls to box with because they were down to actually fight.
Ooh, that's pretty cool. Okay, just talk about getting physical, actually fighting. I don't know if I would punch that face. That the insurance on that face over there. We don't want to. Damn it, that woman is annoying. Yeah, well, that's the thing, that people keep taking screenshots of her because she's so not Sydney Sweeney, right? She doesn't have this cute, adorable face and just this glowing personableness. Yeah, she doesn't have it.
And we would do full contact. We were punching each other in the face. And so
No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. Okay. Listen, we saw what happened to freaking Zac Efron. Okay. Yes, it was an accident, whatever, but you don't want to mess with bones in the face. You don't know how it's going to come out afterwards.
a lot of those reactions are me as Christy, but also me just like couldn't believe that I actually did it just then.
So you have a background.
Oh, she got so excited, whatever. Now we have to go. Okay, so she has this is the kind of picture people have been taking. So they put this picture, and then they put Sweeney like all pretty, whatever. Just to be like, this is what a liberal woman is, and this is what a conservative woman is. But meantime, she's just a normal person. She's not conservative or anything. She's just normal.
In martial arts?
I do.
Okay, so tell me about that. You're what, 13?
Yeah, I was like 12, 13, and
Does that count as a background in martial arts if you're 13?
I started kickboxing and grappling, and I trained at Gokor Hayastan with
Everyone just thinking of Sydney Sweeney grappling. This is a problem, Sydney. Oh gosh, you know what? Yeah, I'm sure her beauty is a curse sometimes for her.
Sensei Jean LaBelle and Benny Leggett and Gokor, and I did that from 12, 13 years old until I was
Okay, until I was 19. Okay, that makes sense.
19, and then I booked Handmaid's Tale and Euphoria, and I was like, oh, I can't fight and film at the same time because I'd come home with bruises. So I put it to the side, but I always wanted to find a story that would be able to bring that side of myself out. But
Okay, so I understand that obviously you want the movie to do well, but she wanted the role because it's really relevant to her, and it helps her tap in. Tap in. Hey, I mean, you don't tap in, you tap out, but yeah, tap into this part of herself. That's cool. Sydney is a normal conservative woman who wears see-through dresses to Hollywood events. Yeah, she's just normal.
13-year-old girl, like what does fighting give you at that time in your life?
What does fighting give you at that time of your life? The same thing it would give anyone who does martial arts, I would suppose. I don't know what she's going to say, but confidence, discipline. What else would it do? Yeah, confidence, discipline. That's what I would expect an answer to be. That's what, as a 13-year-old girl, like you're not out here actually you're getting to be physical with other people. That's pretty cool. I was too chicken shit to get into martial arts. But I didn't want to do ballet either. So I did choir instead. So that there's one time at band camp, that's me basically.
Element of surprise. Ooh, I was the only girl there, so it was a lot of talk of
Ooh, there was maybe that's also part of her personality, how she's grown such a thick skin, is that she's just like, yeah, okay, cool. I was the only girl there. I hope she doesn't go into, woe is me, I was the only girl there. It was like, haha, I was cool. I was unique because I was the only girl there.
oh, what is she doing here? The dads are kind of a little like upset that their sons would be fighting a girl, and then I would sometimes win.
Okay, so I have this sense that you're someone who
She would sometimes win, but yeah, when you're Sydney, that's interesting, and we're pretty lucky if that she didn't go into like the trans people in sports thing. That would be, if we really wanted to be ugly, we would go for that. Hold up, guys. I'm just gonna change webcam for a sec. It's pissing me off, boys. Let's do this. I don't know. Can we put a song on for you guys? What song can we put on? Not Feeding the Ducks. The Axel and Daisy song.
Axel's on the counter, knocking down my cup. Daisy's on the sofa, she has had enough. He's swatting at a tail, pouncing with a grin. She's
Oh shit.
plotting all the ways to never let him in.
Oh, Axel, leave poor Daisy be. She just wants to nap in peace, you see.
You're a whisker.
I'm hoping cats do actually come to the background now that you can see them.
He steals her treats and he steals her chair. Follows around with that mischievous stare. She leaps up high just to get away. He's already planning his next big play.
Axel, leave
Sorry. Okay, we're here. We're back. I know that it probably isn't much of a difference to you guys, but to me it is. All right. Did you guys enjoy that? That was a Creamage original. I feel like Kitty punched a fly on the wall and it would fly away actually feeling better. Hey, I've punched before and my husband even noticed me that I punched him. True story. Okay. Let's go. So she's going to tell us something.
keeps a strong division between your characters and your personal self. And I just wondered if that is harder when you've done this physical transformation for a character like Christy.
Okay, wait. Physical transformation. Let's see the. Wait. She says you keep a distinction between yourself and your characters, but you that would be more difficult with the physical transformation, I suppose. Yeah, you're physically transforming yourself into the character. Okay. Christy movie. Let's just check out the images here. I think it's great. You need to, unless people are going, no, you never go full boxer, I suppose. Look at this. Let's put you. Oh, no, don't go give me the whole freaking open image in new tab. Let me show you. Physical transformation. Yeah. I guess. Hey, Matt. Keep it mostly peaceful over here. Okay. Walls have feelings too. Well, apparently the wall will feel better if I hit it. Okay. This is I always have the best pauses of Sydney. Oh, goodness. Anyway.
Like you come home or come back to your hotel room like in her body in some ways.
I actually learned so much more about myself throughout the process. And I am someone who I build my book for my character and I learn everything about her life so that I can fully jump in and out. And throughout that process of building
Method acting, and I'm interested in seeing this movie and see what her what's her name, seeing how she acts this, because look at her. It's kind of like Charlize Theron. Okay, that was really bad. Like Charlize Theron in Monster, that was like amazing. So I'm gonna give it a watch. just because of the Sweeney.
Christy and working with Christy and filming the movie, I started realizing, I was like, oh wow, I actually have more in common with her than I realized. She is fighting a fight in her home life, and she's also fighting a fight in the public. And I think that for me, I find myself in a lot of battles.
That's a great. She brought it up. Oh, look at this one. She's like, yeah. I'm in a lot of battles. You know, the battles. You know what it's about. You know what we're both. They both know what she's talking about. So the battles she's
in the
talking
public.
about.
And I think that for me, I find myself in a lot of battles, both in front and not in front of the world. So I definitely can relate.
I mean, Chris,
Okay. So we're going to go about the domestic violence. Let's see how the hell we're talking about this movie. Okay. And we talk about domestic violence, physical transformation. What are we going to get at? How are we going to get to the racism? How are we going to get to the eugenics? Because apparently that's what we, what are we like? 6 degrees of eugenics is happening now.
is a story about domestic violence and specifically like homophobia and domestic violence. And The Housemaid, which I also saw, takes on domestic violence from in a totally different genre. And then I did read that your American Eagle collection benefited a domestic violence charity. Is that, did I have all that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so that's how she brings it in. So it benefited a. Did she do that as penance, or was that from the beginning, guys? Did she do this the charity or whatever, domestic violence charity, as penance? That's what I want to know. Should I ask Grok? Ask Grok for a sec. Did Sydney Sweeney donate to a domestic violence charity before or after the American Eagle controversy? I'm gonna say decide to. Sorry, decide to. I'm just asking because is it like this penance, like, look, I do care or something? Before Sydney Sweeney's decision to donate to a domestic violence charity through her American Eagle collaboration, where 100% of the proceeds from the Sydney gene went to Crisis Text Line, was announced on July 23rd, 2025, with a butterfly motif symbolizing domestic violence awareness. The American Eagle campaign controversy, however, erupted later in late July 2025, mainly around the July 30th. So it was like 7 days. And after the Great Genes tagline drew backlash from perceived eugenics undertones. The donation was part of the campaign's launch, predating the main criticism. So it wasn't penance. Woo, that's pretty good. Okay, let's see. You're just busy looking. Yeah, you know what? I should turn, when I'm talking, when I'm reading, I should just turn a Sweeney off.
You spent a lot of time this year working around that issue, and I just wondered if it meant something to you.
It does.
It meant something to you. Yeah, of course you're going to say it means something to you, because you're a human with a soul. No, I don't really care. But basically, these interviews, it's like, here is a little, keyword, domestic violence. Talk about how you care about it. Anyway, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it.
I always speak out about something that is important to me. And for me to speak out, I use art. And I think that through my characters in my movies, it's a way for me to be able to do my part that I can and spread awareness in different ways.
Okay.
As
As long as you're not like, I'm saving lives or whatever.
And that's how I've always learned to communicate. And it's really important.
If I look at your IMDb page,
Okay.
I'm thinking about, you're on Euphoria, which is a show that covers a lot of topics without, taking a moral stance on any of them.
Mhm.
And you did.
Without. Is that true, guys? Have you seen this Euphoria show? That it doesn't take a moral stance on it. It's very interesting. That would make me interested in a show that just shows you stuff and doesn't tell you exactly what doesn't give you this idea that you're supposed to think a certain way about an issue. You can do it yourself. Interesting. Okay.
Reality, which I love, which brought a lot of attention and humanity to the story of Reality Winner, the whistleblower. It does not look like a very political career, but you have become very swept up in politics.
She didn't try to. You guys did it. She wasn't out here trying to be political. She just got into a pair of jeans, boys and girls. She got into a pair of jeans and she was hot. And you, motherfuckers, you got her into the politics. So let's see. Okay.
And so I wondered if that has surprised you as you put your
Ooh, let's see her body language here. So she's happy to talk about things that she cares about, and she looks happy.
taking a moral stance on any of them.
Mhm.
And you did reality, which I love, which like brought a lot of attention and humanity to the story of Reality Winner, the whistleblower. It does not look like a very political.
The whistleblower, okay, and maybe she's seeing the question coming. She's like, okay, set it up. Come on, just ask me what bring it. Let's go. Bring up the American Eagle stuff.
Career,
Mm.
but you have become very swept up in politics.
Mm.
And so I wondered if that has surprised.
I can just laugh to make us friends, right? Sydney Sweeney is not my type. I don't find her attractive as I find Nigerian women to be prettier. Hey guys, by the way, Nigerian women are amazing in the way that they can curse at you and things like that. I follow a couple on Instagram and they do these funny reels about the way that they can yell at you. It's great. But yeah, Sydney, I think she's very appealing to just people that are just like, look, that is a good looking woman. Like, she's not Kate Beckinsale. Like, she's not what's that other one, Elizabeth something like that. I don't know what it like, beautiful, but she's also just she's scrumptious, I suppose, is another word you can do. She's fun to look at. I just think people don't mind looking at her.
As you put your ideas and yourself into art, not commentary.
Yes, she puts them into art, so she shows what she wants to do, but then she also leans into the fact that, hey, she's hot. She's like, fuck this bitch. She's not. Yeah, let's hear it. What is even the question? Let's just try and understand the question here.
And yourself in politics.
Mm.
And so I wondered if that has surprised you as you put your ideas and yourself into art, not commentary.
If that has surprised you, the way that you've been put into politics, has that surprised you? Yeah. You put yourself into politics, has that surprised you? Yes, it surprised me because everybody made it political when, bruh, it was just a freaking pun. Yes, it's surprising because I thought I was just doing my job. Out here being hot. Like, what do you want from me?
I've always believed that I'm not here to tell people what to think. I'm just.
Ooh. Excuse me? Sydney, you're not telling us what to think? You have a platform. You have a duty to tell us what to think. And you must tell us what we want you to tell us to think. Okay? So you're not allowed to tell us you're not allowed to tell us to think right-wing things. You can tell us to think left-wing things. Otherwise, shut up. Actually, silence is violence. Never mind. Scrumptious. I'm not the first person to say scrumptious, but she is. She just. I just want to squeeze her, like her face. Okay, her face. You just want to go like. Anyway.
Here to kind of open their eyes to different ideas. And so I think that's why I gravitate towards characters and stories that are complicated and are
human, complicated. It's almost as if we can't do just black and white thinking all the time. Interesting, Sydney. But Josh, also she's what we call them, adult pretender, professional adult pretender. That's what she's supposed to do. She pretends to be other things. That she's not a politician.
maybe morally questionable and characters that are on the page hard to like, but then you find the humanity underneath them. And that's what I've always leaned towards.
Speaking of which, guys, I'm watching Succession, and it is very difficult to find even one person that I like in that freaking show. You're like, okay, I know creators. I know you're writing all these people because it's just humanity and it's scheming and whatever. But it's like, geez, I hate them. But yes, I just look at her. Anyway.
I think a lot of people feel like it's better for art if artists can keep themselves a little bit separate from politics.
Yeah, I've never.
Okay, so that artists can keep themselves. It's better for art if artists keep themselves separate from politics. Yeah. But what happens when politics comes after them? Politics yeets them out of their adult pretending and says, hey, you have to take a moral stance on this, or you've taken the wrong moral stance, or I'm offended, when all you were doing was your job. And you actually weren't, your art, even as an artist, your art was not meant to say a certain thing. They've interpreted a certain way. Now you have to address that. It would be nice. It would be nice. I agree with you, interviewer lady.
Talk about my personal life.
I know. So what I'm going to do is talk about your year as a phenomenon in the
Okay.
culture, okay? And a big thing that happened.
Okay, is that the clip? Is that the clip that everyone's been on about? That she said, I'm not. Hey, Irk, good to see you. Is that the clip? Is that it? Is that it? That she just said, that like, she just said, yeah, I don't want to tell people what to think, and that's why I didn't talk about my personal life. Is that it? Or do we actually get to the actual? There's the most replayed. Okay, let's see.
To you this year is that you ended your engagement,
Mhm.
and I got push notifications about it. And we all sort of looked up and we're like, oh, Sydney Sweeney isn't just a talented actress and an up and coming producer. She's someone that people are really obsessed with and really fascinated by.
Oh man.
I know. And I wondered, did your sense of your own fame change this year?
No.
That is a cool question. Did the sense of your own fame change this year? I think I don't know. She seems to have become more famous, but anyway.
Surround myself with a really, really strong group of people who have been in my life since I was little.
That's good.
And they take me out of Hollywood, take me out of this bubble, and remind me what the real world is. And
That's really good. Yes, good. So her fame has gone up, but she hasn't gone deeper into it. Seems like it's one hell of a drug, and you can get messed up by it, and get all kinds of shady people involved.
that's where I exist. The idea of fame, it doesn't apply to my personal life. I'm just Sid.
You can't.
She's just said, oh. She's just said, guys, she's just a person in her personal life. She doesn't, because I suppose, that's what you would want as a famous person, is to remain a person. You don't become bigger than a normal human being in your personal life. Just because you are important, you're on the minds of that many people. That doesn't make you more important than people in your life. Cool.
Feel the difference in the volume at times.
If I turn on my phone, yes. If I have my phone off and I'm home, no.
Right. Okay. So what is it like now being single? Are you single?
I'm single.
Okay, you're single.
She's single, boys. Oh, sorry. She's single. Well, I like the way Sydney dresses like she's ready to defend Britain. She's ready. She's got to cover stuff up and things like that, So
You are out there now as a person who has a lot of power, I would say.
Mhm.
Person who people are
a
obsessed
lot of power. Here we go with the power, the up talk. She's single. She has a lot of power. Sorry.
with, and someone who I gather is like really, really focused on their work.
Mhm.
So I wonder, how does that change what you're looking for?
I don't think I'm looking for a man right now.
You're not looking for one, but they're looking for you. How do you even begin to look for a man as Sydney Sweeney? As in, like, she is spoiled for choice, and everybody would want to be with her for the wrong reasons. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how she deals with that.
I've learned this year is that I have a really, really amazing group of girlfriends, and I am strong and independent. And
You're strong and independent. Very good. But what happens when you just want to settle down, and because also your friends have to stay strong and independent too. That's another thing that we've learned. But with the what's the name? The feminists, is that if your friends get married, then the most important person in their life is their husband and then their children. And that really seems to upset the feminist that stays single, which is like, what did you expect though? Like they still expect to be the most important person in somebody's life, despite the idea of a husband and all of that stuff. It's very interesting. Go and watch Sargon's video on that.
that I'm going to be okay. If love finds me, love finds me. I'm hopeless romantic, so I hope love finds me. But I'm not the type
She has to fall in love, guys. You have to work hard. She needs to fall in love with you, otherwise.
of person that wants to go out all the time, and I do believe in true love and wanting to be with someone for the rest of my life. So I'm not gonna. You won't see me jumping around a lot of places.
Wait,
Good girl. Good girl. Don't do that. You can jump around and everyone's going to look at you, whatever, but not everyone's allowed to go to touch. That's the point. Good girl. Good girl.
jumping around a lot of places, like
Like guys.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are making Anyone But You, and there's sort of what do we call it, like a game almost with sort of letting rumors build about you and Glenn, and we all now know that was
This feels like I'm watching like two girls from high school talking, but fine, we have to get the reason I'm not just looking at the clips is because I just want to get the context of how we get to these topics.
a projection, let's say, on our parts. That wasn't real. But it occurred to me that maybe that story doesn't go so viral if you're not a very private person. I imagine there.
Okay, so you're not a private person, but we were thinking that you were together with your co-star or something. You and Glenn, there was something between you. Well, okay. People are going to ship people, and she seems a little bit irritated with this as well now. It's just kind of like, okay, are you? Oh, but you don't talk about your private life. But we kind of we're thinking about it, like it's happening.
There are personal benefits to being private about your personal life, but are there also professional benefits to being private about your personal life?
The professional benefits for me and being private is for my own just health and sanity. If I let everybody in all the time, I have nothing for myself. And I am just a 27-year-old. Oh, I'm 28 now. I turned 27.
Oh my goodness. She should have pushed her a lot more into answering instead of trying to be friends. No, because we can't be too assholey. We still need to fluff each other up.
28 yesterday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. But I'm just a 20-year-old woman who's trying to figure it out. And I'm still learning, and I'm going to make mistakes, and I'm going to grow. And I think that it's important to be able to do that without having to say every single thing all the time.
Right.
Yeah, just let her freaking be. Man, she's so based. Yeah, she's just like she's just trying to keep it chill. Okay.
Okay. But so you're never tempted to just like open your notes app and say, this is what I really think, and this is who I am, and this is what's going on in my life, and like stop guessing and projecting.
I mean, I'll vent to my girlfriends, but
Okay.
other than that, no.
No. Okay.
Okay, because she keeps her fame separate to herself. It seems like that is a good thing for famous people to do. Because if you then also get in on this parasocial relationship with the media, so yes, you'll have a parasocial relationship with people if you are interacting. But like with the media, I suppose there is a kind of parasocial thing. This is even a parasocial relationship. They're not friends. They're not chatting and having a good time because they're friends. This is business. So she's got, yes, that's difficult. She's got to keep it all separate. And it's like, yeah, you're an actress and you're not being known for your opinions. You're not an opinionista person. You're not a commentator. You are here to perform things and look pretty for us. That's actually it. Is the South African sense of humor similar to American or British sense of humor? Absolutely British. We're very much, dry humor, like British people. We really enjoy British comedy over American comedy a lot of the time. Peep Show is with David Mitchell, right? I love David Mitchell, but I haven't watched his show.
That's honestly really impressive. Like,
I know who I am.
right.
I know what I value.
That's so impressive. Like, why don't you just like be all in with the public? No, because it's not good for you.
I know that I'm a kind person. I know that I love a lot, and I know that I'm just excited to see what happens next.
We can't have deep, meaningful conversations on our press junket, boys and girls. But okay, keep trying.
And so I don't really let other people define who I am.
I'm happy to hear that. I love secondhand concern for you lately.
She's happy to hear that. I have a lot of secondhand concern for you lately. Yeah, I do that. I have concern for people I don't know at all. And I'm like, oh, I'll worry about that. But yeah, nobody's going to tell her who she is. So if you sit and hate on her, guess what? Sydney Sweeney does not care. Like,
We're sort of talking around this American Eagle ad right now, and maybe we should just talk about it. So, were you surprised by the reaction?
we surprised by the reaction. My vocal fry is so California. I don't know if it's California. It's just typical American. And
I did a Jean ad.
yes. Okay, so that's
reaction-
it. Okay, so that look, guys, it's not as amazing, but I suppose there it is. She's like, I did a Jean ad. It would be so great if she went, I did a Jean ad. But then again, you don't want her to be too angry. You just want her to be like, relax. Just chill out, guys. I wore jeans in an advert. That's what it was meant to be. The whole thing. That the whole time, that's all it was meant to be.
Reaction definitely was a surprise, but Jean ad.
And also your reaction. You are the reaction. You person over here. Were you surprised by the reaction? Yeah, because it was a freaking Jean ad. Okay.
I mean, the reaction definitely was a surprise, but it was. I love jeans. All I wear are jeans. I'm literally in jeans and a t-shirt like every day of my life.
Jeans are uncontroversial.
Jeans are uncontroversial. They're awesome. She's wearing jeans right now. Okay. But watch how Sydney handles her. She takes her time. Yeah, she does with these more difficult ones. She does pause quite a while. I'm not in love with jeans like spelt that way, man. They can really betray you. But then again, I have some really good ones as well. I just don't know how to activate them. I'm trying. I'm trying to work out. I've got a really fit family. My fitness is probably the lowest in my family. My diet is probably the worst in my family. But yeah, if I look at the way they look, and I'm like, that's somewhere in me. Somewhere there is muscle tone. We could try this. We could do this. So I suppose I've got a love-hate relationship with jeans like this. Okay. The Running Man. Yeah, everyone's talking about this Running Man movie. I'm going to watch it. I don't wear jeans. All I wear is army trousers and pajamas. So you're the cargo pants guy.
Are awesome.
Yeah, I like your
You
jeans.
look great in your jeans. I think I know how you're going to answer this, but I'm going to ask anyway. I mean,
I think I know how. Okay, so she placates. Okay, interview a lady, placates. Aha, jeans are awesome. Cool. So I don't know. I think this is her pushing Sweeney to answer because that we could have left it at that, but she's doing something else. Okay.
the president tweeted about the jeans ad, or Truth Social about the jeans ad, and
That's another thing with like speaking to a lefty. It's a big smile. Well, like the president tweeted about the jeans ad. That's like this passive aggressive kind of thing. It's like so, but yeah, it was a jeans ad, but the president spoke about it. So that makes it really important. I'm not too sure if the president would have tweeted about it if everybody else hadn't tweeted about it beforehand. But I don't think Sydney is going to have that reaction. She doesn't have to have that kind of defense. Let's see what she does. But just in my mind, when I hear about that, I'm like, okay, I don't care what the president said as well. It was still a jeans ad. It was a jeans ad when he discussed it. It was a jeans ad when I filmed it. All of it was still a jeans ad, and it's what you said earlier. They're awesome. They're uncontroversial. That's it.
that just seems to me like a very crazy moment for anyone. And I wondered what that was like.
What is this look? What is this look?
Moment for anyone, and I wondered what that was like.
She doesn't have eye contact during this discussion. She does this whole thing over there, and then she looks at Sydney.
Moment for anyone, and I wondered what that was like. It was surreal.
I don't know. I don't know what she's trying to convey here. What was that like? Surreal. Okay, surreal. Yeah, like what? Why does the president care about my jeans ad?
Real. It was surreal, and it would be totally human. I would probably feel like thankful that somebody had my back in public, and
oh, this is why people were talking about she's trying to make Sydney say something cancelable. She's trying to give her the room for her to go, oh, I'm glad Trump had my back. That's what's going on here? Okay, that's what people were talking about, that she opens it up for that. And it's like, okay. So she's like, oh, it's very human. Because that actually is very human. Even having that take would have been very human, but then they would jump on you for being human, because that's how it works in this political environment.
Conveniently, some very powerful people had my back in public. And I wondered if you felt that way.
I wondered if you felt that way, because I want you to confirm that that's how you felt. I explained what I think you should do. You should feel, and I want you to carry on. I want you to carry on with that idea. So yes, take your time, think about it. How are you going to deal with this without being too combative?
I don't think that it's not that feeling didn't. I didn't have that feeling, but I wasn't thinking of it like that, or like of any of it. I kind of just put my phone away. I was filming every day. I'm filming.
So she's like, So she's like, I wasn't really thinking about it. So wait, does she say like she didn't feel that?
Thinking of it like that. It's not that feeling didn't. I didn't have that feeling, but I wasn't thinking of it like that.
It's not that I didn't have that feeling, but I wasn't thinking about it. Okay.
Or like of any of it. I kind of just put my phone away. I was filming every day.
She doesn't care. She's busy. She was busy making more money than you. That's what she was doing.
Filming for you. So I'm working like 16-hour days, and I don't really bring my phone on set. So I work, and then I go home and I go to sleep. So I just.
So even, sorry, Mr. Trump, even you talking about me is not going to be, it's not going to get in my way, is essentially the kind of thing. Like, she wasn't thinking about it.
I don't really see a lot of it.
You've made a really good case for keeping your thoughts and your life separate from that work. But the risk is that, there's a chance that somebody will get some idea about what you think about certain issues and feel like, I don't want to see Christy because of that. Like, do you worry about that?
Oh, okay. Yeah. If you don't, so you've made a good case for keeping it personal, but you do need to pass the purity test. Essentially, that's it's like, but there is a risk if you don't pass the purity test. If you don't confirm that you're not with them, because then people will assume that you are for Trump. If you don't spend your time hating on Trump, people will assume that you love him. So you need to get in on that. That's the Hollywood vibe, I suppose. Has it always been that way? Has Hollywood always been this moralizing, or was it just because of Trump? Like, it will be very interesting. A post-Trump world will be very interesting, and I mean post-Trump presidency, because it's like now everybody can shut up about him. Everybody can get over him. Everybody can hate on something else. It will be interesting to just have people not have him to blame for things. But I don't think that's going to happen for many years to come, even after his last term. After this term, I don't think people will stop talking about him. People will definitely not stop blaming him, because that's what people do with presidents anyway. But I wonder if this culture that 2016 it did a lot to us in Western-minded people. Did a lot, and I don't know if the pendulum gets to swing back once this threat has passed. This threat of Donald Trump has passed. So she's like, yeah, no. You have to make sure that you are telling us that you hate Trump, because somebody might assume that you support him. It's quite a conundrum, because when it comes to content creators that are commentators and they're talking about politics, it's part of their whole job to talk about politics. It makes sense to disavow and this and that. But when you are an actor, you're busy acting. You don't need to be talking about that. Like, my hairdresser, if I had to go to a hairdresser, I don't want to talk to her about her personal life and all of it. Can she cut my hair? Can she cut my hair properly? Can she wash my hair properly? Can she do all that? Cool, that's fine. Yeah, I don't necessarily need to know everything about everyone. And it seems like it would behoove actors to just step aside from that.
No. If somebody is closed off because of something they read online, to a powerful story like Christy, then I hope something else can open their eyes to being open to art and being open to learning. And I'm not gonna be affected by that.
So again, so she's not going to be affected by that. So again, it is up to people to decide. If they're closed off, it is up to you to open yourself up. That is it. She's not going to sit and make an effort to convince you that she is something that she already knows she's not. Okay. If you are going to believe that she is the devil, okay, she's not going to spend all of her time trying to convince you otherwise, because it's just not her responsibility at this point. I suppose it's the crime that you are accusing her of is really not that horrid. It's out of your there is no evidence for it, so just jog off, essentially.
You've come here like really willing to talk about this whole discourse that doesn't have that much to do with you, and I'm grateful for that. Is there something that you want to say about the ad itself?
Oh my god. Okay, so would you like to apologize? Would you like to get into a fight with us? No, you interpreted it the certain way. So is this the main? I think this is the main one that people replayed most. Okay, this one, and then over here, she might be hot over here. But is there something you want to say about the ad? Because you're supposed to say sorry. Yes.
Sydney Sweeney has great genes. Do you have?
The ad spoke for itself.
You think the ad spoke for itself? Okay, and
the ad spoke for itself. But the ad said racism. That's what it said. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. It was just making fun of the word gene and genes. That's it, guys. I think it even was referring mostly to her boobs. Just me, I think.
The criticism of the content, which was basically that maybe specifically in this political climate, like white people shouldn't joke about genetic superiority.
The thing is, she is not white people joking about superiority. I don't know how you keep your shit together in this. Like, I don't know. She's very good to keep her shit together, because I'm just like, oh, in this political climate, white people shouldn't joke about genetic supremacy. They weren't. She wasn't. You decided to interpret it the worst way possible. She does have good genes. She does. But it's not because she's white. You're a freak. It's again this kind of thing. You're the racist for seeing it that way. You really are the racist for seeing it that way. When it comes to, remember when people, because, you know, we all want to now hate on J.K. Rowling, right? One of the first things that they started bringing up for hating on J.K. Rowling, like reasons to hate her, is that, oh, no, she made the goblins look like Jewish people. And so she's anti-Semitic. It's like, sorry, you made that comparison. She didn't, definitely not make that whole idea. Oh, what J.R.R. Tolkien was actually the orcs were black people. You made that comparison, not him. You made that. You decided that the evil spawn of the corrupted elves in the fantasy world represents black people. You did that. I don't know. I think that there's some sort of level that you need to go to that. You are the one that took that leap. And it's the same thing here. You are the one that took that leap instead of going, oh, they mean that she's pretty hot. That's it. Oh, no, but it's your unconscious bias, and it's because you're white. You're under. No, really. That's how it's meant. It's literally, she's got a nice butt, she's got nice boobs, she's got a nice face. That's genetic stuff. Skin color, eye color, It's her boobs. Okay, is what we're looking at.
Like, that was kind of like the criticism, broadly speaking. And since you are talking about this, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about that specifically.
I wanted to give you an opportunity to kneel before me and apologize. No. Okay, so what's she gonna say? Like, I would want to be such a bitch. I really would. And the point is, you can't do that. This is not what we're supposed to do in this context. Don't be a bitch. We're in a nice, lovely, friendly, look at us, we're friends conversation.
I think that when I have an issue that I want to speak about, people will hear.
So, so Yeah, if she wants to, what that means is I wasn't making a statement. If you want to know if you want a statement, I'll give you one when I want to. And it seems like her movie Christy is about domestic violence and that sort of thing, which should be right up the alley of the lefties, okay? Because it's about women fighting through the hardships of actually being a woman and domestic violence, all of that. That's good. But no, she didn't pass this purity test because she was hot in that advert. We can't do anything about it now.
Talk about Cassie. You got back together with Cassie. You spent some time in Cassie land.
I am.
I wondered if after the break and after the changes in your life since last time you're Cassie, if you came back to that role with a different perspective on her character, her arc.
Mhm. Well, Cassie and the whole world of Euphoria is now 5 years
Mhm.
ahead. So all the characters are
I don't
living in
know
the real
what
world.
they're
They're dealing with
talking
very real world life problems. And Cassie's just so much fun. She's so crazy. And I
Cassie is a very good name. It's like Cassie suits her. I'm not saying this character, I don't know the character, but the Cassie, if I didn't know her name was Sydney, I would think her name was Cassie.
don't know if I can implement any of my own knowledge or life experiences to Cassie because she's just so on her own plane and in her own world and thinks.
Yes, there you go. So you're an actress and you kind of just pick up where you go and, okay, this is what the character is going through. Therefore, I will now act as the character. Wow, it's almost as if you don't have to be the actual person that you're acting.
Completely differently. It's such a fun roller coaster ride because I'm getting to go to all these insane places. She's crazy. I
See how much she talks when it's a normal softball interview, a normal softball question. When everything else, she just shuts it down. So it's just like, I'll talk about my roles. I'm here to do this and this and this. But when you're coming to, if you want to say something about it, and then she's just like, you'll hear about it. When I have a political view, you'll hear about it. But she doesn't. So sorry for you. I don't know what you were expecting. What did people want from her? I'm sorry. Please take me back.
thank Sam like every day for giving me a character like her in my 20s because Sam put together a show of like a powerhouse lineup of really interesting
Right.
storylines and characters, and being able to go back to Cassie and grow with her and go even crazier is such a treat. Like
Is she really crazy? I want to go and watch this now.
I always feel like I'm going home.
One thing we haven't talked about that you've talked about a lot, but I wonder how it's coming up now in your work is the way women actors and you are represented on screen. The early part of your career was defined by a lot of chatter about that, right? About
Okay, so now you're shown on, or now we're getting into you're being exploited because you're hot. And because you're leaning into that, that's a problem, right? You're the problem, Sydney, because you're not actually you're not putting a rag on the titties. You're not covering them as much as you are right here, but you're not covering them on screen. You're leaning into your good looks. Although she just did a movie that she physically transforms and becomes butch for, so okay, but fine. Now it's basically hi. What the translation I'm getting here is you're really pretty, and I'm judging you for that. Yeah, I'm judging you for that, for making money off of that, because that you're part of the system.
is it empowering or not empowering? Blah blah blah. Like
In
expression.
regards to my body,
Yeah, and like Cassie, I think brought that out, and that doesn't really seem to be part of the story anymore. And I wonder if you feel like Hollywood is changing, or if it has to do with being an actor producer roles.
I think that the conversation around it is changing. I've always
Yes, I have watched the new shoe video, the latest one about not gooners, lonely men. Yes, I have. Apparently, I was very, very judgy in that video. So that was last week's react. Go and have a look there, heinous.
looked at a woman's body as a very beautiful, powerful tool.
Yes, you can call it a tool. Yes, it's a very beautiful, powerful tool. Yes, it is part of the power that a female has. Is the fact that they are not male is the power that they have in a heterosexual relationship.
Transform my body for Christy. It's a challenge, but then also really amazing at the same time that we're capable of doing stuff like that and being able to tell stories through our body. And I've always looked at it that way. I've always looked at it as my body as another tool to tell the story.
How does
Good girl. There we go. Just the normal, hey, positive. She's not going to talk about it's the downsides and the whatever. It's like, no, actually, I can use my body. That's the whole point. She's an actress. Her body is the product. That's why I was talking about. Okay, don't be punching Sydney in the face because we need that face. That's the product. Okay, yeah. Why wouldn't she? It would be stupid not to. Exactly. Again, people go like, it's your God-given talents, and people laugh at that because it's like it's 2 talents and blah blah. The thing is, she does seem to be that she can also act, though. I think she's okay, and I do really like watching her. So, there's that. Let her get hers for that. I don't understand. It's like it's this weird thing on the left with this. Okay, you've got to sex work is good and empowering and whatever, but then it's also the male gaze is bad, and it's like pick one. Just pick one at least and be consistent. But they kind of have both of those things. Sex work is good, but also you are leaning into the system and the male gaze. It's like, I'm not understanding.
Using that tool change when you are more in the driver's seat as a producer. I mean, I'm thinking about a housemaid. Like, there's a scene in that where you're in this home theater and you're wearing like a push-up bra, and it's just like,
guys, I don't know about a woman. Anyone, any girls in chat? If you had those, I don't know, man. You should love them. You should be very happy with them. That, like, look, maybe you don't because it'll be a back pain, like really. But I don't know. I think she probably has a good look every now and then. Goes, oh, damn. Anyway.
okay, this
It's
is
not a push-up bra. It's just my boobs.
oh,
Yeah, you don't have to push them up. Oh, that's great. I don't have to push them up, she says. Basic, but that silver dress, I think they needed a bit of support there. Okay, they did, but you were like, again, the thing is, the fact is that they were there. She knows what she's doing, man.
wow, where you're in this home theater and you're wearing like a push-up bra, and she's like, okay, this
It's
is
not a push-up bra. It's just my boobs.
oh,
Like, I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. The clip that you guys were going on about before with where she's like, when I have a political opinion, I'll tell you whatever. No, this is it. Okay, and I think that's the most replayed part. Yeah, I can see why. That's the best one. That's the best clip from this. It was just my boobs. Like, sorry, honey, sweetie, baby child. Those are, you know how glorious they look? That was natural. And yes, it's something that she has, as a female interviewer over there, she has to deal with it. It's like having a stronger, if you're a man and you have a stronger, more muscular man or a taller man in front of you, you have to be like, ooh, yeah, well done, damn it, you're hotter than me. Like, that's what the laughter is about here.
wow, fact check me.
Fact check
That's just like a sports bra or something.
yeah.
Good God.
Yeah. Okay, that's the kind of life she lives. That you would smile that way if you were like that. Let her bask in her beauty, man. You know how they're going. Time is gonna take its toll on us all, everybody. Okay, let's just enjoy her. Look at her. She's just a sweetie.
Okay.
I mean, she's wearing what she'd wear to bed. She's being comfortable. It's for herself. It's not for anybody else.
Great.
Yes. Oh, that's so cute. I'm not sure I have the right lived experience to have an opinion on this subject. Yes, I can. I do, because I know what I lack. So I know that I have the lived experience of someone who doesn't have those kinds of assets. So I know what I don't have, therefore I know what she has. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so I have, no, it's not emotional damage. I think I definitely know. The only thing I wouldn't know about is back pain and the discomfort, all of the bad things as well. Is I just really wouldn't be able to understand that, because it just no, just don't have the discomfort. And I'm okay with that. I've come to terms with it. When I was younger, it was a problem, and I was very, very upset about it and whatever. But I don't know. Maybe it's being married. Maybe it's It's just that I don't need that. So also just the fact that it's like the same thing about if I had to get a nose job. Okay. Like, yeah, sure, my nose would be smaller, but it's not my nose. For the emotional damage, thanks, people. I'll put it towards the boob job, I suppose. If I change, we like you too.
That I mean, that's sort of where I was going with it, though, is that watching that scene, I had this feeling of there's a.
Oh, sorry, wait, I've got a clip for you. Seeing as we were doing what do you call it? We were doing what would it was? Hey, actually, no. I'll do 2 clips for you, people. First, look, I can be blonde. It's not about the slit, guys. It's about the flavor. Okay, that was me wearing a wig last week, and then I've got something for you. It's a bit low in volume, but I love it because we were enjoying some puns earlier. Nothing to do with boobs, but another woman that is very intimidatingly pretty. Amala.
If you shenan once, you're gonna shenan again.
If you shenan once, you're gonna shenan again. I need to fix the volume on that one, but I love it. I love having that there. If you're not careful, I will play the scream clip. So, and hey, she's I think she's of Nigerian descent with the surname Ikpenobi.
Self-awareness and knowingness to this that it is a casual sweatshirt, her boobs are out, and then you're like,
yeah, sorry, do you want her covering free the nip? Do you want her covering up because of the male gaze? Or she's like, hey, I know exactly where you're looking all the time. She's got power.
The wife comes in and like comments on it
Mhm.
in this way that to me felt very like funny. Letting Sydney use
Funny? Tell me what you mean by funny.
your body in this way, but also commenting on it in a knowing way that lets you know that we're all in on this joke. And I guess
No, I don't think it's not. We're all in on this joke. It's we all notice boobs. Okay, we all notice boobs. We all notice the power that they have. Like if I get into a lift with my husband, and then a woman with assets comes in, and they're looking nice and everything, and then I know my husband's gonna look and then look away, and hope there are some very horrible husbands that don't know how to look discreetly, and that's just wrong. Teach your husbands, ladies. Not that there's any ladies here, but still. Also, I expect all of you men in chat to be able to look sneaky. Don't gawk. Come on now. You should have enough practice to just, and you just. There are some really horrible ones, but my husband's pretty good. He's pretty good. But I myself, as a woman, I am aware that there is a woman that is more attractive than me in the lift, and you just do that naturally. You do think about it, and you're just like, okay, cool, that's it. And I think that's I don't know, in this context, this video, this woman referring to them is a normal thing. It's a human thing that would happen. That's it. It would just be a human.
I wondered if that is a hallmark of having more control of the project.
I think so. I think that as time goes on, people will see that I'm way more aware of things than people think.
Oh, we know you're aware of it. We know. And in the way that you're aware of it, that's a beautiful, beautiful screenshot, boys and girls. That is a beautiful screenshot. I need to, hold up. I need to screenshot this. Damn. Lovely. Sorry, I just needed to do that. Yeah, she the way that she does it is really nice. She's the classy one, right? She's not a slut, but she's classy. Okay, she's a classy girl.
Can you say a little bit more?
I mean, if I say it, then I like to let the art speak for itself. I think that's where it's fun.
Okay, but that you are giving us permission to keep projecting a little bit. Like we're gonna keep taking what you do and like putting it up on our board. I'm like, what does Sydney think?
I can't wait to see what the board says.
Okay.
Project as much as you want. You don't own her. She knows who she is. Her friends know who she is, and that's it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. It was, yeah. Boobs are secondary to blue hair. Amala's dad is Nigerian and her mom is a white liberal. Right. So yeah, it was not as sensational as I thought. Okay. Yeah, there were some good moments there. I should have just looked at the clip, but I don't know, context, I don't want people taken out of context, whatever. Yeah, not the greatest, but I love Sydney Sweeney. We all love her, I suppose. I understand some people find her a bit overhyped, but I think she's just really wholesome. It's a weird, like, she's the most wholesome, but she's sexy at the same time. It's a weird combination. And she just shines, and I think that makes a lot of people jealous. She handled the troll like a champ. Yeah, it could have gone really badly. She could have gotten even combative and that sort of thing, but she didn't. She shut it down very well. And yeah, people, she gave her absolutely nothing. Yes, and I guess it must get really irritating because we've seen such things happen on the red carpet where they're trying to get a soundbite from you, a certain soundbite, like the thing with what's it, Superman, where they ask the freaking director and they're like, oh, yeah, is there some parallels with immigrants and whatever? And he was like, no, I suppose, but he that was not the main point of the movie or what the point he was trying to make. They wanted him to do that. They wanted him to do it. And then they go to his brother. I don't know who James Gunn's brother is, but whatever, they spoke to him and they got the snippet from him. And then that's the thing that they knew that people would talk about and go mad about. Superman was 3 out of 10. It was a Superman movie. It wasn't that. It's 4. I don't know. It's just a Superman movie. Yeah. So they had to go and make the outrage. They look for the outrage because then we get clicks, right? I think I like this. Okay. So what can we learn from this, guys? What can we learn from Sydney Sweeney? Okay. Other than all those things, we could learn to just chill TF out. Okay, just chill out and don't let the outrage mob come after you. I suppose don't give them the fuel. Don't fight them either. Just give a flat answer. They're going to do what they're going to do anyway, which they did. And then they try and say, oh, Sydney Sweeney's, one of the things that I heard online this week is, oh, her career's over and whatever. No, I think she's fine. And you know what? Even if her career is over, she's lived a life that all of us would only dream of. Okay. So yeah, I think she's fine. And we can live our own lives. I just watch the horror and detective thriller all the time. Oh, okay, so you don't do. Scarlett Johansson used to be like that, but from fame got the better of her. To be fair, she mostly stays out of the muck, though. Yeah, Scarlett Johansson was my favorite sensual blonde woman who, yeah, she was my favorite one in Hollywood. And I suppose Sweeney has taken over. Do I support eugenics? No. No, I do not. But there's been people trying to argue for eugenics because it means healthier people and whatever. Yeah, I can see all of that, but no, I'm not for eugenics. I do think that is the way that it's going to go. Is that people are going to start genetically modifying their children, and yeah, there's going to be superhumans versus normal humans, and I hope that I'm dead by the time that happens. So, you know what? We have a few minutes. Let us go to. I said if we had time. You were a tube baby. Were you a twin? Heinous. I'm born in a lab. Yeah, a lot of the time you get twins from that. I'm pro lab babies because there are people that really, really, really want children, and they need that help to have them. Let us go to Sargon of Akkad. I think it's Sargon Daily. I don't know. Let's check it out. But yeah, he did a thing on a video about Nick Fuentes. Now, if you go to what we did this week, we started diagramming the discussion between Fuentes and what's his face and Nick and Tucker Carlson. And Tucker Carlson was softballing him. This is true. But people are saying he's normalizing. This is the thing. This is the problem, that he's normalizing Nick Fuentes. And I don't know. We haven't gone through the whole thing so far. What I've gone through of that episode is the beginning of Nick Fuentes, where he seems reasonable because that's what he was. He was a normal right-wing person, and then he turns into what he is now, which is just unhinged. And we haven't gotten to the discussion of the unhingedness, and it seems like we don't. He doesn't spend time. Tucker does not spend time on that, and I feel like he could have. I think I agree with Tucker not going combative with him, just in the same way we're kind of just talking on this thinner level here, of course, with the pop culture and an actress and whatever. But the way that Sydney didn't go combative with this interviewer, I think that it can work with that kid, because of the way that Nick Fuentes is, giving him outrage, giving him anger, it's going to give him joy. So there is a weird balance that you have to try and do. You have to try and question him so that his ideas are exposed, his bad ideas, because a lot of people don't seem to think he has bad ideas. They think he's a kind of Charlie Kirk thing, where it's like, oh, people are just seeing the worst clips of him. It's like, no, he really has those ideas, though. He's not just, he really does just think the world is controlled by Jewish people and all of it. He has all of that. Enjoy. Have a good day, Heinous. I'm just going to do Sargon of a card. Just go to his actual video. Nick Fuentes. Why Nick? So that's what we're going to look at here. And yeah, let's see. People got upset about this. They're upset with Tucker Carlson, and there's now basically this split in the right. And there was a discussion that 1of44 was there. It was a South African content creator. They were discussing about the fact that you kind of have to work with people you don't want to work with in order to have power. This is now in South Africa. You have to work with parties that sing "Kill the Boer." Okay, you have to work with the EFF in order to make change in your country. You can't actually make the moral lines that you want to, or draw the moral lines that you want to. And that's kind of the way forward in South Africa, is what they were talking about, right? And in America, I guess you could say the way that this guy was talking about it is that Tucker Carlson is not shunning anyone that could potentially support him, rather than actually just disavowing. And yeah, it's a different strategy. I don't know if I think some views are just too extreme to not challenge. I don't know. That's what it seems to me. But let's see what makes Nick Fuentes popular. He's popular. I would say he's popular, and for the wrong reasons, for bad reasons. The main idea, if I were to say, you were giving me this title and said make a video about it, I would say, okay, well, it's because there is a rise in anti-Semitism, and Nick Fuentes is saying the things that people want to hear. There are more anti-Semites, so Nick Fuentes is tapping into that market and saying what people want to hear, and that's it. It could be even the greatest grift. He might not even believe it. They shouldn't give him any kind of platform. The thing is, though, I've spoken about this in the previous stream about him. He has a platform already. He has followers already. So you kind of have to address him and you have to show him for what he is. And you have to actually, if you're going to speak to him, you need to show, or you need to speak to him about his extreme views. I think that doesn't mean you have to necessarily have debates with him all the time because it's not always fruitful. I think you can actually ask a person to just tell you exactly what they think, and even if you completely disagree with it, you can say so, but you don't have to convince them to change their minds. So that's why I'm going to continue going through that Nick Fuentes conversation, because there's certain points where I'm going, oh, I want him to ask this, and he does. And then there's other points where I'm like, I want him to ask this, and he doesn't. So anyway, hey, Davina, good to see you. So yeah, the point that I'm making is the fact that they have a following means that there are people out there that believe the same things, and you're not going to get rid of them by just actually ignoring them. Unfortunately, that is the thing. They're going to continue over there because they still have the freedom of speech. They still have the freedoms that are afforded to them by being Americans.
Normal conservatives who don't seem to understand why Nick Fuentes is popular. And so I thought I would record this video to explain. Now, I'm too old to be a fan of Nick Fuentes, but I can.
Okay, so people would, first of all, people would be very upset with him, with Sargon, for saying, I'm too old to be a fan of Nick Fuentes. So that then implies that if you were younger, you would be like him. That's what people will do if they're looking at this in the worst way possible, Sargon. So there you go. We're how many seconds in? 12 seconds in, and you already owned yourself. Cool. So I'm too young to be a Nick Fuentes. Yes. So what he's saying there, the context of all of that sentence is Nick Fuentes' fans are young. If he was younger, he would have been radicalized into a Nick Fuentes. What's it called? Sycophant. He would be pledging to kill and grape in the name of Nick Fuentes, because yes, that's the thing that he says. Oh, he's so cool and cheeky and base, isn't he? Fucking pathetic.
I can understand why young men like him. I can understand what his appeal is to them, and I just want to explain.
Okay, so another thing, understanding is not condoning. Okay, I don't know if he does condone it later on in the video, but remember, understanding somebody's motivations is not condoning. It's the same thing we do with true crime. And I say we because it's all the females, okay? We're out here watching the true crime, not because we're like secret serial killers and we love what's going on. It's we want to understand why somebody did what they did. What is missing in their brain that they've done something like that? So yeah, understanding does not necessarily be the same thing as condoning an agreement. Okay. Did you see upsetting banners in Joburg as it pertains to free speech? Yes, this is something that I was supposed to talk about this week on Wednesday, but I did not stream. The banners that, and I also tried to bring this up in the Thinkers today, but we didn't really get into it. But yes, the banners that were upsetting in South Africa was a banner that said, "Welcome to the most race-regulated country in the world," because to the G20 people. Yeah, and it's being boycotted by the USA. So and now I think it's Argentina as well. Yeah. So yeah, those were upsetting, and there's no room for racists and whatever in South Africa. There was a lot of stuff going on because people were thinking that it is, if you are against the race-based laws in South Africa, you are a racist. Because there's many things that you're supposed to believe. You're supposed to believe that the race-based laws don't exist. Then you've got to believe that they actually do exist and they're good at the same time. And also, the race-based laws they're good, they're necessary, but also they only benefit white people anyway. All of that you got to hold in your mind at once. So go and check out my Twitter. There's some things that I've retweeted over there about that. And yeah, they actually took down, free speech wise, they took that banner down. It was and the joke that was made is, wow, you guys can take down a banner quite quickly, but you don't fix my pothole. There's just potholes all over the freaking place. But fine, you'll take down a banner that's upsetting you. But then the thing is, there were banners all over the place. So the biggest one got taken down, but then there were others along the highway and things like that. So yeah, those, I don't know if there's any policy that can be pointed to. They're paid to put that advertising there. There's not supposed to be anything there isn't supposed to be hate speech in South Africa, but we have had people go to jail for the things that they've said. And I don't know, they are going to 1 of 44, they are going to court with this, because they even had sky banners. That's fucking cool. But yeah, they're going to court for it, and I think the thing will be that they're going to try, and the people that are against the banners are going to try and say that they were lying and they were bringing the country into disrepute. But the point is, we actually are. South Africa is a country with the most race-based laws in the world. There is a whole ranking, and the count is there, and it'll give you, this thing is 145 or something race-based laws. And yeah, the weird thing that people have done is try to say that they don't exist, and then when you come to them and say that they do exist, then they say it's a good thing. It's this weird, look, this is kind of why I get so annoyed with South African politics. But I should spend more time with it. They fucked with the wrong people. Sure, we'll see what's going on by next week. It would be interesting to hear what's going on with the courts there, because there's no misinformation. The actual government tweeted that they saw the poster being put down, that they did this, and then somebody retweeted and said, hey, this is true, we are the most race regulated country. And the government says, stop spreading misinformation. There's no room for racists in this country. So everybody in the replies, there's a lot of people going, yeah, no, they're the horrible people. And it's like, Grok. It was the best Grok own ever. People are like, Grok, is this true? The government itself is lying on Twitter. It's fucking crazy. Anyway, guys, that's next week's deep dive, I suppose, after Fuentes. Again, there is a lot that we can look at when it comes to US politics. How does that work in South Africa? What are the kinds of things that are similar in South Africa and different? And yes, they obviously do intertwine, because your president boycotted my president. So there is no EWC, but EWC is going well. Yeah, it's great. It's all great. We're for the Constitution, but also we want to change the Constitution. Okay. Anyway, let's get back to US relations, but he can understand what his appeal is to them. Okay. Again, is this condoning? Not so much. Okay. Relax. Let's see where we get with this.
Because a lot of people approach Nick Fuentes along ideological lines. They say, he said this about Israel, he said this about women, he said this about black people, and therefore. And it's like, okay. Yeah.
Wait, and therefore, I want you to tell me the and therefore part, because that matters as well. He said this, he said this. The and therefore is very important to clarify, Sargon, because is it and therefore I don't want to speak to him, and therefore he's not worth acknowledging, and therefore that is a very important thing. So he in that sentence he is wiping out everything that somebody could say after therefore. He's the approach is what he's taking a problem with. Sorry for the sidetrack. No worries. It's Friday. This is a slop stream. We're good. So yeah, he's taking the fact that people approach him and say he said this and this and this. I don't think that you can ignore that. But what are you supposed to do? What do you suggest we do when he says these kinds of things? That's the problem, is that he says these kinds of things and people like what he said. When I posted a reel, this was a clip from a stream where I was saying why do people listen to Nick Fuentes, and I said, well, or why give Nick Fuentes an interview at all? It's because other people actually would watch him. That was basically the gist of my video. And I did in that video say there is that he's got horrible ideas, and we need to show those off and say this is bad. You don't want them to spread, but at the same time you want to inoculate people to them. You want to show the weaknesses of those ideas to people, and so therefore you have to discuss them. And so I got some replies where it's like, what's so bad about what he says? And the argument there is, well, yeah, so people don't know how bad Nick Fuentes is. I'm wondering if they do know what he says and they agree, that's the problem. That's a big problem. Or they don't know. That's also a problem. They don't know what he says. They think he's normal and fun, and they start saying Nick Fuentes is cool. He's the same thing as Charlie Kirk. You guys are he's just misunderstood. No, he is what people think the right is. When people hear that you are conservative or whatever, they think of Nick Fuentes and they put you in his bucket. So you do need to put yourself separate to him. Anyway, let's see what and therefore it's so what do we need to do, Sargon? He's now given us a problem with the approach to Fuentes. He has said this about women, he has said this about Jewish people, he said this about black people. He said all this, we disavow him. What are you supposed to do?
Yes, he talks a lot. His job, his career is as a professional talker. And when you are small on the internet, it's very easy to gain attention by saying quite radical things in order to attract an audience.
Okay, yes, this is understood. This is a thing that we went over in the stream as well, that he becomes popular because he's saying these crazy things, and you can see a lot of the time in his best clips, you know, he is on a rant and he's trying to make jokes, and you can see the grift. It's all over his face, right? We understand. But the thing is, the people that are listening to him are not taking it as just, hey, it's good old fun and whatever. They actually, sure, there's a percentage, I'm sure, that just enjoy how offensive he's being, because he's just being an offensive guy and he's based. But then there's people that actually believe what he's saying, and actually, like, they come to my little stream to try and convince me of his ideas. Like, what? Like, there are those people, and that is fucking scary. Okay. So sure, he attracts the audience, but I don't know. I just for me, I would like an audience, but I don't know if I want that audience. So yeah, you can attract an audience by saying radical things. Cool, good for you. Then what? Do you attract the audience and then try and change them? The audience will just go away when you start being reasonable. Anyway, so you can say radical things in order to attract an audience. Does that make it okay?
You'll notice that in recent years he's moderated himself because
What?
he has found his audience. He has polished his craft, shall we say?
He's insufferable. he's moderated himself. Okay, cool. I don't see that. Maybe he's moderated himself in that he speaks to other people, I suppose. He deigns to speak to people that are left compared to him. Maybe that's what you mean by moderation, but I don't know. Okay, maybe the clips that I'm most traumatized by are years old, but okay, but that doesn't matter because there's no clip in between where he goes, I was wrong, this is horrible, I'm an asshole. None of that. And again, that isn't hypocrisy of, oh, I need him to pass the purity test and whatever. I'm saying if somebody changes their mind, they should make it very clear that they've changed their mind. They've changed their mind they've come to Jesus, essentially. They should make it clear. And I don't think he has. He is very much still on that side. He's a groiper and he's very happy about it.
And all of the clips that you see of him saying the most radical things are quite old now. They're from a few years back. This is actually not...
Has he disavowed himself? They're from few years back. Okay, so this is why I can understand people get angry with Sargon now. Sargon, they're going to be, Sargon, you're minimizing him. Sargon, you're saying it's old, it's fine. I don't care how old it is. If he still believes, like there are things with, I think it was Dave Smith or something. No, it was Destiny. Sorry, it was Destiny. Destiny gets played a video of his opinion that is really horrible. And say Asmongold or someone is reacting to him and saying, that's freaking crazy. He sits there and goes, yeah, I still believe that. I still believe that. So I don't care how much time has gone past. If he has not stated he changed his mind, Sargon, doesn't matter. But I don't know what you're talking about with the time. What time heals all wounds?
Terribly surprising and not really very interesting to
Yeah, they aren't that interesting because it's just that's it. That's the opinion. There's not much to go into. We don't want to interact with him in that. I don't feel like you're going to get a great argument, but I think asking him questions would be fun. But that's actually why you could see how flawed his thinking is if you just spoke to him. But okay, again, not terribly surprising, not very interesting. So it's no big deal. Is that what you're saying? I guess that's what people are taking from this, and that's why they got upset with him on Twitter.
what is actually happening. Because again, condemning him on ideological lines, that's great. But, that's very easy to do. Anyone's capable of doing that.
Yeah.
But the problem with the normicons, as they do this, is not only do they set themselves up against the next generation,
Okay.
they blind themselves to that generation's problems.
Okay, I can see what he means by that. So set themselves. This is a little bit of what we were kind of talking about in that South African chat, where because I was like, guys, because they were talking about we should fight fire with fire because the left has no principles, because there is a left right same sort of thing in South Africa, and it's like, well, the left plays horribly. So why should we play with principles? We should play it as dirty as them, fight fire with fire. And I'm like, oh, but I want to be principled. I don't want to do that. And I'm worried that if I support politicians that are playing dirty, they're just going to stay dirty once they're in power. It just doesn't. Maybe I want them to stay with integrity. And yeah, okay, nice guys finish last. Then what? So they were talking about having coalitions with people like the EFF and things like that, just getting into bed with them, because it's just better than what we have currently, which is the ANC. Like it's better to have something against the status quo. So that's what they're talking about here. When he's talking about cutting yourself off from the younger generation, I understand. So that younger generation is then going to be turned off by your rejection, by your disavowal and all of that. And you want to change those younger people into voters for your party, I suppose, is what he's going for. You want to change those groypers into just normal right-leaning people. You don't want to cut those off. You don't want to take those votes completely away. And that is a purity thing that the right is not comfortable with. People are like, but we don't want those people on our side. We can't work with them. How could you work with them? And it's like, well, we want to work with them because the left is worse. This is the argument that has been brought up to me time and time again, is that the left is worse. I would rather work with these people than continue with the commies, essentially. It's a tough one, because how do you know that those people are not going to you're not supporting the next Nazis? You're not putting the Nazis into a position where they actually can be. Like, I mean, we've got the wording from Nick Fuentes of when we come into power, which what he means by that is theocracy. When we come into power, like that's no, you are not going to come into power. Okay, no, but maybe the approach being too combative is turning off people, because that is kind of how it went with woke people. The youth in my day especially would be the woke. Okay, so you are too far right, or not far right, you're too dismissive of the liberal heart, and therefore the youth will reject conservatism. So what he's kind of talking about here is that, okay, well, they're really upset. They have what problems, the problems they see, they feel they're real. And if you dismiss them, you're missing voters. And that's a bit too pragmatic for many people, I would say so. That's too, you're getting too close to being friends with them. And that would mean you agree with them. And if you agree with them, then you are just as bad as them. So I'm in this weird thing of like, okay, I understand you're trying to be pragmatic, but where's the line? How do you make sure that you are not just inviting the extremists in the same way that the far left did? They did. The normal left did it. The normal liberals put in all the extremists, because look at all the votes we could look at. And then what? Then you get the whole freaking left turning into a crazy cesspool. Is that what we want with the right? I don't know. I think that's not going to work out. But then when it comes to South Africa, I can see what they mean there. In South Africa, I can see, shit, you're going to have to work with people you're uncomfortable with. But I don't know in America. I just don't know about that in America. And I don't know about actual whole ass Nazis.
Because really, they've kind of failed to update their own ideological software. The normie conservatives, who are about my age, the sort of
Hold up, they have it. So who has not updated their ideological software?
Problems. Because really, they've kind of failed to update their own ideological software.
Okay, so they are blind to the youth's problems by just disavowing and dismissing. Okay, they're blind to those problems. Okay.
The normie conservatives, who are about my age, the sort of, elder millennial, younger Gen X, and older, need to understand that we grew up in much more homogenous societies than the Zoomers are, and you think you won the argument against the left.
You think you won the argument against the left? I don't know who's thinking they won. There are a few, but they're wrong. Things don't happen that quickly. Like, just because Trump became president, that does not suddenly mean that the ideas and this left-right tension is gone. I honestly think that maybe once Trump is no longer around, that will be maybe sometime to just try and figure it out, unless JD Vance turns out to be just as bad, which I'm not too sure about JD. But anyway, okay, so you think you won your arguments about the left. So Zoomers, we were more homogenous because we weren't as globalized and we didn't have as high immigration, I suppose. Anyway, so he's what now? What's the point now?
So for the first bit, America in 1990, when I became 10, 11 years old, and the 90s generally were an absolutely amazing decade to become a teenager in. Very vibrant, fun, full of life. There was technology, but the technology hadn't taken over, so it was genuinely a wonderful
everybody really just loves it. When like you'll talk to people, it's the 90s, fucking great stuff. I was a kid in the 90s, so I didn't have the responsibilities of an adult in the 90s. So I was in my age group in the 90s, best time, because we were just flying high. It's just mommy and daddy do everything for you, and you just get the 90s cinema, you get the 90s cartoons, you get all of that nostalgia, and that the joy of youth blends with the whole decade into making you think it was perfect. I mean, hello, apartheid only ended in 94.
Transition period to have grown up in and to have matured into. In America, the non-Hispanic white population was 75%, and that's with the historic black population next to it, about 10-13%.
Okay, so he's now saying we didn't in that era, the immigration was not pervasive. If immigration happened, it was immigration, as in you literally are applying to be allowed to work, to become a citizen, all of that. You're not just jumping over a wall. You're not entering in a boat. And remember, Sargon is very much sensitive about the boat jumping people because he's in the UK.
Something like that. So you had what was a very homogenous society, and this wasn't a society that was entirely well spaced either. You had areas of America that were historically far more diverse, but the rest of America was basically historically white. And so that has gone down to now 55% non-Hispanic white as of this year. And of course,
in like 2 decades. Okay, so that's a big so he's making that big this is a big change, and that is upsetting the people. Okay, I understand. This is what makes it right for a guy like Nick Fuentes to press buttons in there. It develops these buttons for pressing, because things are different from when people were younger, and therefore we can press the buttons when they're angry about it. And there also is something we can blame for anything that's wrong in your life. Don't worry, we got it.
Also, predictions for the future, if trends continue, mean that that's just going to go down further and further and further until white people are a minority compared to the non-white people in the United States. So this, whether you like it or not, has generally discredited Buckleyite conservatism. This has rendered its arguments out of date because the assumption of the Martin Luther King colorblind society was always predicated on a kind of invisible understanding. And again, this sort of...
Okay, let me try and see if I can understand him before he finishes the thing. With the invisible understanding, the Martin Luther King colorblindness is the understanding that there would be assimilation, that there would be shared values, that the content of a person's character would be good, that the content of the person's character would still suit American liberalism, American liberty. That content, those values would still be the same. There's that understanding that we would need it to be that the values of freedom are the same underneath there. I would say that you can't just go, and here's my liberalism coming out, but you can't, that you do really need to become aware of a person's content of character, to see whether they assimilate. And that would be through a measured immigration, a proper system, and a slower rate. So you don't have this huge change in the whole demographics. There's more time for assimilation. And if somebody doesn't fit in, they don't fit in. They don't actually change where they're at. They don't feel that they belong, so they leave. That's it. But yeah, I don't know. I think the place he's going with this reasoning here is, okay, people actually don't have the same values, and that is difficult. That's where I think he's going to go. But let's see.
Presupposition that everyone around will basically hold the same opinion. Well, in a highly diverse multicultural society where there is no one overarching demographic that sets the agenda of the nation, that's not true. It's not a true assumption.
Yeah. If you are not permitted to set the tone of the nation, if setting the tone of the nation, having certain rules, having certain values is bigoted, then what? Then what happens? Then you're going to be overtaken and overwhelmed. And I'm not talking about race. I'm talking about actual values. So you think about your values that you have in America. Think about the liberties that you have in America, the great luxury liberties that you have there. And then you're importing people that don't agree with those liberties. So what they're going to do is keep what they like about your country and remove what they don't like. And what they don't like might actually be what you do like. And it's pretty strange. I can't wait to read Suicidal Empathy. That's all I'm saying.
That everyone basically holds the same opinion, and therefore the kind of colorblind Buckleyite conservatism can work. That paradigm has come to an end because...
Yes, sorry, the liberties for now, exactly. So what the right is saying to people on the left like yourself is that you think that this is going to keep your liberties. You think that this is liberty, but actually what it's going to do is going to erode the values that set America apart from the rest of the world. That's what you're going to actually land up doing. You're going to land up being very conservative in ways that you could not imagine. Like the things that are legal now, no longer legal. So it's a pragmatic thing, but I understand why everybody hates each other.
Socially, that's just not how things go. And then you've got the question of the sort of infinite Reaganomics of eternal growth. Well,
eternal growth, yeah. Okay. eternal growth, the economics, the sustainability of bringing all the people in, that's a quite a variable to try and control.
As we saw with Trump today, the American establishment is still on that train, but I can't help but notice that that's come alongside his proposals for 50-year mortgages, because this is a system that is spiraling out of control.
Yeah, the 50-year mortgages. What the hell, guys? Yeah, and he's putting the greatest spin on it as well. I don't know what's up. I think we can get into Trump next week, I suppose. I want to read more emails and see what other emails have come about. But so the economic impact of immigration and trying to deal with immigration and the political environment, all of that is going to take its toll. And he is saying that this system is spiraling out of control. I don't think that people on the right would be too angry with this, with his assessment here, unless they're a proper MAGA and they're like, no, everything's perfect. Trump has made amazing. That the economy is just awesome. It's amazing. We're winning. Oh, we're just the richest country ever. Like all of that. They would be angry with Sargon for that. But I don't think the people that are upset with him that I've seen, they aren't crazy MAGA. They're just normal right people. They're not rightoids. They're just right.
Actually making it more and more difficult for the people born within it to get ahead using it. And this is why...
No, don't worry, Irk. Don't worry. They just needed those extra 20 years and then they'll be able to pay it. I swear. I swear it'll be fine. So anyway, then...
For the people born within it to get ahead using it. And this is why so much of the left, the Mamdani faction of the left, have got a very strong argument in some ways on their economic policies. Again, whether you agree with them or not, the argument is persuasive. It is rhetorically effective. And it is forming a...
Oh, well, that's annoying. When things are rhetorically effective, it gets you. Rhetorically doesn't necessarily mean logically, but it's just like, hey, yeah, that makes sense. In like that pushes my button. That makes me feel seen. That makes me feel relatable. I've seen that. Yeah. It's like getting a joke. So yeah.
Large coalition that is capable of winning elections. And so if you are a bucket...
So it seems like coalitions win elections, boys and girls, because nobody's going to be, it's not going to be homogenous, but you have to then be friends with people that you don't like to get it.
Reaganite
America should repeal the 19. It would be quite an interesting experiment. You know what? I want to do something, a history sort of thing with Zax. That would be a great one for us to do, Matt. Basically go and say, okay, if women never got the right to vote in America, what would it look like? Yeah. I have friends that are MAGA, and I've completely given up on any logic. Oh, and so you've tried to be like logical, but do they at least know? Like, I think I've got some people that love Trump, and they have admitted that they just love him because he's not the left. They don't care that they will go to bat for him all the way and never criticize him because of spite. This is V has this discussion all the time with politics, where out of spite people will even something that hurts them, they will vote for something that hurts them as long as it hurts the guy that pissed them off earlier. And that's kind of how a lot of MAGA seems to work, where it's like they know it's not good for them, but they're like, haha, at least I'm owning the libs. It's like, no, but you're owning yourself too, guys. Could we not be pragmatic? Could we not just criticize everyone for everything? That's going to be fun. Yeah, I think we need to figure out the timing of it with daylight savings.
Conservative, you can't form an effective counter argument because it is your position that brought us to this point. You are offering more of the same, and actually more of the same doesn't seem very appealing to the young people who are growing up now.
Yeah, as long as you're giving someone something different. Yes, that is it's kind of like the recency effect, where it's like, that's new. Actually, that's a great idea. Things become very appealing because they're not the thing that's not working now. So it's like, we want change. You know, the whole, always in politics, whenever anyone wants to write a speech or something, we want change. We don't know if you want, what kind of change are you thinking about? Actually, it might not go very well, but the point is, change is very exciting because you don't want to stick in this cuck.
Actually, they're looking at their own civilization and saying, well, this isn't terribly good. And they can see videos and movies and just historical footage from just 30 years ago when the civilization.
The problem is that someone like Sargon telling Groiper fans to grow up has the opposite effect. Yeah, does he say that at the end of this video, Davina? Because what I'm thinking so far, what he's doing here is that he's basically saying to them, he's saying to the grown-ups, okay, that we need to find a way to communicate with these Groiper people, because he has said, considering what he said in the beginning, is that you are becoming blind to their problems because you've immediately ideologically dismissed them. So maybe he knows that the opposite effect. That is it. When you dismiss them and you say to them that they're full of shit and whatever, you lose them. And that is something that people are like, well, we don't want them. We don't want them anyway. But he's now trying to be pragmatic and say, but you need them. And I'm just like, I don't know. If you can change them, that's pretty good. But if you keep them with you, then you become them. You might end up being like the left inviting its extremists in. Then people start saying this is the right, and you go, that's not the right. That's not the right. That is not what it's been. We've been fighting on the internet about this for so long that everyone's trying to say that they're not Nick Fuentes, and Charlie Kirk is not Nick Fuentes, and then you come and you invite them in. Anyway, so I don't know if he's inviting them in. I'm just assuming. But what are we gonna do with Furor Fridays? You know what? It's a very good what do you call it? Not assimilation. Not sibilance. Alliteration. Therefore, it becomes a thing. You must do it. I tried Feminism Fridays on Twitter. I used to make everything anyone saw, I used to reply as a feminist. But yeah, that Furor Fridays does hit different. But it's kind of minimizing and offensive. Just cynicism, apathy, and nihilism. Yeah. It gets me. That's where I get to, Davina. I go through all of this and I think about it and I'm like, okay, cool. What would the answer be? And then I get so frustrated and I actually go to cynicism and apathy and I go, fuck it all. I don't want to talk about politics ever again. I don't want to think about it.
Nation was so much better because things were different.
Things are it's so much better because things are different. It's like, you don't know that. You don't know that.
And then you've got these other aspects to it, which are not necessarily quantifiable. Enoch Powell is a hated figure by the British liberal establishment. But they can't deny that what he said about demographics was true. But also the...
what, demographics are destiny? That whole thing?
Consequences. The political and moral consequences of that, which is about who holds the whip hand. That is, who holds demographic, political, and thereby legal authority over the nation. Now, again, during...
which part of the demographic has legal authority over the nation? The political elite, they're their own demographic themselves. They are the ones that hold the power, and they're only going to work towards their power, right? So whatever keeps them getting votes is what's going to happen. They're not there for the good of their demographic, the good of their personal demographic, as in out in the world. They're there for themselves as politicians. At least that's how you can see it in South Africa. It's all about them as oligarchs and whatever. That's it. His biggest fans may outgrow him. I hope so. I hope so, Davina. It stops being funny or entertaining. I think they are in the same way that people do outgrow being properly bleeding hearts when they bleeding heart liberals when they start paying taxes and realizing the real world, what it's like. You go out into the real world and you have to deal with people that are offensive, and you can get offended, but you have to get over it. That whole thing, you go through that entire growth, and that then helps you outgrow being an extremist in politics, right? I would hope, Davina, that you're right. It stops being funny or entertaining. It's just not funny anymore. It's repetitive. It's not a solution. It's not enriching. But there are people that will stay and they will stick into it, and they'll just drown in that nihilism, and they'll bring people in with them, and they won't grow out of it. I just hope that's a larger demographic that makes their way out. There's a good chance like people like Nick Fuentes are funded by China, Russia, Iran, like Lauren Chen. Yeah, I would say that there is a very good chance of that. That's how you exercise soft power. You stoke the flames in certain places as a foreign power. Absolutely. I think it's good to just assume that that's what's happening.
The Buckleyite consensus, I mean, America would have been about 90% white non-Hispanic during his era. And so it's easy to think that fundamentally everyone thinks the same as you because you are surrounded by people who think the same as you and who are not operating in a divergent ethnic interest because they are basically all the same. And so what you have is the kind of self-selecting political plurality of party politics. However, when you're in a country that's 55% white non-Hispanic, what you end up with is much more ethnically focused party politics. Parties are, in fact, a bit of
interesting. We got a black majority in South Africa, but we've got a lot of people. It's a term they call colored people, which is mixed race. It's a different race. Okay, colored people are not black people in South Africa. Get over it. Because the people got very upset with a South African artist who calls herself colored. And they're like, oh, that's offensive. It's like, no, okay. Now it's time for you to be culturally sensitive and understand that in her culture, it's a different thing. What you are doing by being offended by the word colored to her is completely erasing her entire race. So there you go. Like one of my favorite creators on Instagram, he says, you're puss about that. Like he's properly angry about it. He's like, you completely erasing my my race? And he says you're puss. So anyway, I'm just trying to think if this applies. When you have that kind of demographic, you don't have homogeneity. If you don't have that, then you start politicians will start pressing the racial buttons because those are the things that move people. I guess that's what he's saying, and I'm just trying to think. South Africa has shades of that kind of thing. There's just the black white, and then within the non-white there is a lot of there's deeper politics. So I don't know. Are we just going to all just have to go back to where we came from and everybody stays? What are you talking about? Are you talking about segregation here, Sargon?
the luxury that you can't really afford. You have to vote with your ethnic interest and in your community. This is what we are seeing, of course, with Mandami and with the Somalians and various other, and the Mexicans as well. So it's
all on demographics lines, but it's like, rather than, hey, we're all a people in here in this country, what's good for us? But no, you do land up having to pander to this voter base versus this voter base. Ugh. Okay, so how is this going to Nick Fuentes?
It's one of those things where this the sort of 20th century politics, I'm afraid, has run its course because it was undermined by the left. And this leading
Now
us
what?
on to, you think you won the arguments with the left. It's like, you didn't, right? You didn't win the arguments
Yes,
from the left.
Scoop.
You may have had it so that from your own position, you failed.
It's Friday for you now, right? Happy Friday, everybody. It's Friday for you guys too. You failed from your own position. You failed. Anyway, how could you say colored people are offended on behalf of black people? Oh, I saw that great clip about the taco truck the other day. Oh, so good. Where it's like, you really don't know what to be offended by right now.
to lose, but that doesn't guarantee the victory, because whilst you were fighting on one front, holding the line on this particular issue, the left was encircling you and completely outflanking you. And that's
Hey,
what
you were part of it too.
they've done with mass immigration. But they've also done this in various other ways. I mean, like the complete lack of proper punishment for certain communities, certain ethnic minorities in America is just crazy. Like the crazy amount of permissiveness that the state.
Look, yeah, okay. Permissiveness in terms of crime, yes, but there is still the perception. It's still there, the perception that actually it's the opposite, Sargon. Black people do get worse sentences and whatever. But no, I don't think the permissiveness is racial. I think that just the softness on crime is for everybody, which is just insane. You got softness on crime, you got softness on everything then. There's no rule of law. Nobody is afraid to do anything. It's that they do what they want.
State shows to people of certain communities. So they are complete repeat reoffenders.
I would disagree with him saying communities, certain communities are, like I said, I think it's everyone. I think everyone. It's because people, I suppose the argument then is, no, if it was a white guy, he would get life in prison, and if it's a black guy, he wouldn't. I don't know. I just think they're just permissive on crime. I don't think it's a demographic thing, but okay, fine.
Offenders until they're just murdering people in the streets.
Guys, also just sorry, from a true crime perspective, the things that I've heard from Canada, the Canadian system is even worse. Okay, they're like, don't murder. Okay, and then you're out in 15. Friday morning where I'm at. I hope you slept well, and yeah, I hope you're having. What are the plans for the weekends? Are you going to be streaming, Scoop?
This is wild, right? But what I mean, like, for example, a great case of this is Daniel Penny. Like, oh my god, like I watched the events with Daniel Penny and was just kind of horrified by the response. But I mean, there are so many examples. Just pick.
Okay, so that's response in terms of public court, the court of public opinion. Yeah.
One.
But yes, the court of public opinion does actually have an effect, I think, on the court as well, because then it's like, well, we have to do something because people are angry with us.
Yeah, just pick an example. What was the one where the black kid murdered the white kid with a knife in the sports field and then raised something like $1 million from the black community because he had stabbed a white boy, right? Like this resonates with these straight white young men because it doesn't make sense that their own society should be so stacked against them.
Okay, so that makes sense. Again, the fact that this makes sense does not necessarily mean that he is okay with it. But people, I suppose, what they're going to do is take it that means he's okay with it. The way that society has done that, it's left you. We've had this discussion about it leaves you wide open for extremism. You radicalized me. Who radicalized you? Me. When did you become radical? Whatever. Like that meme with the guy, you did. Yeah, that's it. That's what happens. But that doesn't mean that I'm happy with that pendulum swing either. Can't we all just chill out? They were talking in that South African stream as well. They were talking about how bad centrism is. Centrism, apparently, being the centrist is like being the middle person in the human centipede. This is because you basically you're taking all kinds of stuff into you by being the centrist. But I'm still pro-centrism, because a centrist is, it's not necessarily taking sides. It's they're looking for the bits of each side that they agree with. That's it. It's not about sitting on the fence. It's considering both sides every time, instead of just going, oh, well, you're on the right. You're on the right, so you're my mate. You're on the right, so it's fine. No. What actual ideas do you have? Let's talk about that, and let's see where we can find common ground.
It speaks to a profound unfairness in American society that predates these young men, and that they were born and raised into not knowing anything different, but being aware that at some point in the past, it wasn't like this.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, their parents and grandparents allowed this to be given away.
Okay, they're loud. We were once on top. We were once on top as the white people, and my parents gave it away. Why? Why did they do that? Me. Okay, I understand that. I understand that that's a way that somebody could take that, but I don't think that that's it. The lesson you should take is that supremacy is bad. Having any kind of supremacy of one race over another is bad. But basically, Sargon here is saying, yeah, trying to strive for equality, trying to that all of that liberal project is it's wrong. It's failed. Does that mean now what are you going to do? You must be radicalized. You must go to the right all the way. Yes, you exactly. Even centrists have to pick a side at a certain point. Absolutely, you have to pick a side in that. On the issue, on a certain issue, you will side with the right or the left on each issue. That's absolutely correct. There is no, I'm not going to. It's like when it comes down to policy. Great example is Blair White. She was like, oh, okay, so yeah, the right is now taking away this idea of changing sex on my license or whatever, and that does, she says, yeah, that's pretty shit for her, but she took the side of the right, not because it was her side or whatever, but because the alternative was worse. She's like, well, this is what happens when you start going after people's kids. They're going to do that. So she had the understanding, and that doesn't mean she absolutely supports it, but she's like, I understand why it's happening. So yeah, it's possible to be on a side and criticize a side. I think that's the best way forward, is being able to criticize your own. He's being dramatic. America's fine. We have some issues, but we're clearly doing better than England. I do think you are doing much better than England, Paffy. I do agree. I would rather move to America than to England. Might stream Silent Hill tonight. I have to finish the game. Saturday, I also have my podcast. Awesome. I wanted to game today, but there's definitely no time for that. Maybe I'll game on the weekend. I don't know. But yeah, it'll be fun. Silent Hill. Oof. Scary.
In addition to this, there has also been the non-stop campaign from the left to attack white people and specifically straight white men for being white people and straight white men. Right? Yes. Now, this should never have been acceptable. And you thought you won this war, but you didn't. And like I said, you held your line, but demographic change has in fact just made your front irrelevant in the conversation, because all of these,
I suppose, yes, it has. He definitely is speaking from the UK point of view, because demographically, you're just irrelevant. Sorry, it's just you're angry about it, but there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah.
Groups that now make up 45% of the United States, they don't have any prohibition on considering themselves in an ethnic manner and advancing their own interests in said way. They don't have any prohibition on that at all. And so once again, you're looking at the unfairness of American society and saying, well, I'm sorry, straight white men, you're just going to have to suck it up. It should never have been accepted.
Can't we all just realize we're sucking it up, whatever the government tells us to? That's the right people to hate. Don't hate each other, hate your government.
To have had attack after attack after attack on white people, straight people, white men, straight white men, in any form.
Yes, this was the argument for normal right people, but when you're turning into a rightoid about it, no. Stay away from that.
But it carried on. And the left, therefore, dedicated themselves to stripping the authority, the moral authority, away from white men. And for some reason, the Conservatives couldn't bear to assert that moral authority on those same grounds. And so the argument was eventually lost. You said, well, I'm an MLK Buckleyite. I don't see color. Okay. Your opponent does.
Okay, so your opponent does. So this is the frame that was used in the South African chat as well, where it's like your opponent plays dirty, you should play dirty. That's the kind of thing that is, I don't know, it's a bit too icky to me. Like, sorry, my opponent is obsessed with race. I must be obsessed with race. I'm too principled with that, I suppose. I do see culture. I do see that, but I'm not here going, yeah, I'm biologically better than another race. Like that is Groyper. Groyper is literally that there are higher IQ. It's a higher IQ is just in your blood because you're a white person. Like that's just we're running on that whole idea that you literally need to take a person's skin color and make assumptions based on it. And yeah, I don't know. I was principled for. I don't like the idea. I'm sorry, I just don't. But it's not. It's not. It's not expedient for you. It's not working. So therefore, you must jump ship and go into the far right. No, this is the whole argument as well that we've been having with the left, is that we're trying to tell them that we are reasonable, that we're not racist. And you're like, you know what we have to do? It didn't work when we tried to convince them we're not racist, so we should be racist now. I'm not with you, but go off, King.
And if you don't address it on those grounds, then you don't actually win that argument. Right?
If you don't win it on those grounds, so they are racially obsessed. You need to go in and also advocate for your race. Yes, we understood that. And part of the thing of advocating for your race's existence and continued existence, and all of that is why the left then calls you racist, because you're saying your race matters. Like you're saying it's okay to be white. Remember that? You're saying it's okay to be white, and that's not a good thing. But I don't now want to be, so I'm all lives matter, but it's okay to be white, it's okay to be black, I am that person, and now you're wanting me to be, it is freaking amazing to be white and everybody else sucks. Like, I'm sorry, I never had that idea, and I'm not willing to step into it just to survive. I don't know. There are other people that don't want to do that are also not racist, and they're not willing to. They're not out here trying to kill me, but he's just decided everybody's trying to kill. Okay, let him speak, Shinsia. It's been like an hour.
Answer to are straight white men fundamentally immoral is saying no. Straight white men are not fundamentally immoral. In fact, straight white men are the source of a great deal of morality in America.
Okay, yes, this are the source of the great. Okay, can be. Are not the ultimate source of morality. So we have to stop there at they are not inherently immoral. Okay? Everybody can be an asshole, Sargon. Everybody can. You're not. Don't be now telling me that white, just because you're white, you're a good guy. No, stop this.
American society. They are the ones that are cleaning the sewers, that are fixing the buildings, that are making society work. These themselves are moral acts, and they should have been defended as the moral acts of straight white men. But you did.
Yeah, so you rejected the straight white man. Now he's going to turn on you. Yes.
Do it. And don't get me wrong, I was just as guilty.
Hey, there's Zaxi. Zax, we were just. I was just talking about doing a stream with you about what would happen if we went back and we were like, okay, so somebody made a joke about repealing the 19th. What if women never got the chance to vote? What would actually happen? So that what if scenario would be quite interesting for us to go over. We just have to figure out a timing when we would be able to do it together.
I was like basically a Buckleyite liberal about 10 years ago. I was in the same position, but I had done a lot of thought on this, and you haven't. You have refused to change as the world has changed around you. So anyway, combined with
you've refused to change as the world has changed around you. So you've not you've not gone into you've not become as horrible as your opponent. And I'm sorry, maybe I'm just too I just want to be too consistent. I don't know. I don't want to do what's expedient if it means I lose my soul, if it means I become what I hate. Whoa, morally righteous. I don't know. I just luckily I am just an individual, and all I'm doing is sharing my opinions rather than actually being in control of a country or something, because I don't know how I would deal with it.
All this has been the demographic shift in the United States. You know, Ben Shapiro called the browning of America that he doesn't care about. Well, I'm sorry, Ben, but a lot of people actually do care about it, and it does have consequences. Like you were spurging on about Mandani, but he is a product of that.
Don't give in to it. That's the thing as well. If you bang on about cultural Christianity, right? Being culturally Christian, that is part of it. Okay, yes, I'm sure you want to lean into the righteousness, the righteous fury that can be evoked from Christianity, but actually remaining consistent, and actually the idea of a certain level of tolerance is still Christian. You're going the wrong way, boy. No, you're succumbing to the world in that way. So you bang on about the Christianity, maybe go back to the Christianity. You need Jesus, Sargon. Like, oh, but you're gonna lose, you're gonna die. No, I'm sorry. I just want goodness in the world. I'm so sorry. I'm so naive.
Demographic shift. And so the left combined their moral attack on white men with mass immigration to ensure that they would have a huge and growing constituency that could be relied upon to also have interests aligned against the white man. So they would have an incentive to take resources away from the white majority of America and take it for themselves. So it's not surprising that straight white.
You know what? This just makes me go. The centrist is not the worst guy. Okay, the guy that's on the fence is not the worst guy. No, these guys need the centrists. The centrists shall. Let's do it again. The centrists shall. Can she? Fuck. There's too many S's, guys. The centrists shall inherit the earth. That's it. That's what it. Because it's just like you guys are out here losing your shit. Yeah, I guess you could make the argument that the centrists are the first to die because they're not. We got the war, but we're trying to hold you guys. Just whoa! Could we stop this shit? I don't know. I'm getting too emotional about it, and I suppose that's the point when we want to talk about repealing the 19th and all of that. But seriously, centrists shall lemons. Centrists shall see seashells on the sea. Centrists shall see seashells on the centrists shall see seashells on the seashore. I did it, boy! I did it once. Yeah. So that's I don't know. I think we need the centrists more than ever because this is what's going on. People are so angry. We just. I guess the pendulum always does swing, but you know how it swings back a little? That's the centrist. Otherwise, we'll just burn everything. We'll burn each other to the ground. Come on now. Centrists unite.
Men, Zoomer straight white men, who have been saddled with this, are actually not happy about the situation. They're not happy. And also they feel vulnerable. They're looking for a way to defend themselves.
Yeah, fine. You're looking for a way to defend themselves. They want to set shit on fire. And I want them to just, you can yell. Cool, you good? Good. Okay, honey. Now let's relax now because it's not worth it. Okay, it's not worth becoming what you hate. Don't become what you hate. You can hold on to your principles. Jeez, I understand politically there is. To come back to the South African thing, politically, you do have to play dirty, but at the same time, playing dirty is not the same thing as literally believing in racism. Like literally taking ideas that you don't believe in, allowing what the other side has done to change you. No, I'm not with you on that. I'm just not. Ugh.
Coming world and the present world that liberalism has brought about for them, they can see that they have lost something. But the thing is, that thing is hard to define because it's not material and it can't be quantified. But it made their parents and grandparents' world completely different to their own. And that thing they've lost is a sense of possession. They no longer possess their country in the way that previous generations did. They look at their country as something that belongs to other people and not themselves. And this is a collective sense of possession. This is to say it is collectively theirs and not the property of other nations. And of course, they've been discriminated against expressly for their whole lives, right? They see themselves in a no-win situation. If they keep quiet about what they can perceive happening around them and the fact that there is no light at the end of the tunnel, they are on the road to ruin. But if they speak out, they get cancelled by the feminized HR moms who run all of the corporations and make sure that they oversee the corporate culture of the United States. They get cancelled for this. And so it's like, right, okay, that's a pretty...
Okay, so yes, the cancellation is a problem, right? So what is your solution then? So I don't want them to sit and keep quiet. Absolutely not. We've kind of, there is another way of like the cancellation, getting over the cancellation idea, coming together with like-minded people so that you guys can still prosper on your own. You do, if everything does become political, then you are gonna, like Black Rifle Coffee being the based coffee company or whatever, like that sort of thing. People start doing that. That's better to me than becoming the racist coffee. Okay, I just don't do that. Oh, we only sell to white people. Like, that's what you're doing with this? You, instead of becoming Black Rifle, you're being like, this is what we got to do. We got to go all the way with this. That's kind of what you're advocating for, Sargon. No bueno. That's what a lot of politicians play on. That's the thing. Politicians will play on whatever environment there is. They're going to press whatever button is there to press. Sounds like the right needs to infiltrate the HR departments. They're a bit too gruff for that. But I guess you could play. I feel like the strategies he's talking about have been losing stats for the left for the last 5 years. Well, he's saying that he is saying his argument is that it has lost at all, like completely. I'm like, look, it hasn't won, but it hasn't lost either. So like there is balance to be brought. Okay, we have to have a balance in the force, guys. It feels short-sighted to adopt them. Yeah, I think it's just silly. We know the folly of this. We know it. What's wrong with you?
Really, a pretty horrible position to be in. It's a bit of a Hobson's choice, isn't it? Like, do you just carry on to your own destruction, or do you just destroy yourself immediately?
The left doesn't have leadership. I suppose the center doesn't have leadership either. Like like you said earlier here, the centrists need to come to a conclusion and stand up. It's kind of like there is no center. The center does not hold. There's no other like the alternative is not big enough, which is also what I was talking about with the South African people. I was wondering if there really is is there a big enough demographic of people that are non-racial in South Africa, that are trying to get past race in South Africa to be a political bloc? And I don't think there are that many. So the discussion with these political commentators was that you then have to work with race. You have to actually be racial in order to win over those votes. I don't know. That's South Africa. It's a little bit different, but I don't. In terms of being racial, it's. I don't know how you can be racial about white people in South Africa. Like, I guess maybe it hits different in terms of trying to gain back balance by not discriminating against anyone. I think that's still fine, but it is interpreted as being racist in South Africa, right? Wanting there to be no racial laws is a racial choice. It's inevitable. But yeah, when it comes to America and immigration and all of that, You know what? Even in in South Africa, immigration is a problem as well. Illegals just come over the border. Everybody's got to fight for their nations. It's Centre is now called pussies. Yeah, well, I was compared to the center person in the centipede. So balance, no such thing as balance. This is true, but I want it. We should try.
Hard choice. Hard choice. I think I know which one I've chosen, though, obviously.
Yes, and I
And
don't like your
over
choice, Sargon. I don't like it. I'm still going to listen to your interpretation until you get Fuentes like. You start jumping on the like. I'm going to listen and disagree, like I've just done.
all this is, of course, still
A human centipede. Yes, I've only seen the trailer of that movie, and it's disturbing. But basically, what the guy said was that the centrist is like the middle guy in the human centipede, because you're taking an ass to your mouth and you've got somebody eating your shit. It's just a horrible image, but that's how he views the center, and I can see why somebody would say that it's you take crap from both sides, I suppose.
the reign of political correctness. And this the problem that the Buckleyite conservative boomers have is that they
Hey, leave me alone. That's basically who I am now, I've decided.
themselves are politically correct, which is why they didn't challenge any of this on the terms by which the left would present it.
We're principled, not politically correct. We're principled. We're still staying on that. We're not going across the line. We're not becoming what we hate. We don't want to become what we hate. Because we were just criticizing the left for doing that, the far left for doing that, for becoming bigoted in the name of the far left religion. We're doing that. But I guess you don't care about hypocrisy because you're like, well, my opponent's a hypocrite, so I'll be a hypocrite. So tiring.
They themselves are part of the politically correct orthodoxy. They have been the acceptable containment measure that the left.
Oh, you yourself, Sargon, honey, sweetie, baby child, you've been a little bit in politics. You should understand as well that once you're in the politics, okay, it's very difficult to stay based because you have to play for the votes, right? You have to start smoothing over lots of stuff. But anyway, acceptable containment measures for the left. You actually do. You can't say certain things. Okay, I'm happy for the roughness of political discourse to continue, like swearing and all of that. Do it, but I don't think. I think the more people you're talking to, you are going to try and placate them. It's just inevitable.
Allowed to continue to exist whilst they outflank you, and so. To defeat the reign of political correctness, it demands people who speak heresies, whether they are true or
yeah. I was with you with this people who spoke heresies. Okay, the heresy for me, I've already been exposed to people thinking that, like, even considering anything that Trump has ever done good is a heresy. Okay, so that's where we were. That's where us reasonable people were. And now you're out here saying, no, we must go completely the wrong way. No, Sargon.
Or not. It does not matter whether you think the things that Nick Fuentes are true or that you think are untrue. It doesn't matter.
Oh, you must let him say them. You let him as like, listen, my principled extremist on free speech. So you must let him say them without disagreeing with him because he's on your side. You know what? It would only become relevant if it became a physical war. It really would only become relevant that way when it really is physically me or you. Is this guy going to shoot my enemy? That whole thing, that is it. And I'm sorry, the line actually has to get to that before I will even consider it. I'm not going to be part of that. Sorry.
The slightest. What matters is the authority which holds down ideas whose time has come. That authority has to be broken. And so that's why you get...
Okay. And your solution for breaking that authority is what? Being Nick Fuentes? No.
Someone like Nick Fuentes being incredibly popular. I mean, he's been cancelled forever off of everything. He was on the no-fly list at one point.
Yes. And he can remain that way. We don't have to embrace him, Sargon. You don't have to embrace him. You can find him stupid. You can find him a grifter. And I know it's not interesting. It really isn't. He's not very interesting. He's not interesting in very basic bitch racist things. Just, oh, that's what that guy thinks. Cool. Yeah. Okay. Fine. But there are young minds that are involved there. There are young voters, if we're going to think about that. yeah, you don't Nick Fuentes is not the future. No, he's not the future. There are, you know what, you guys are giving me hope in this chat here. Okay, I'm actually really glad I didn't have hashtag Nick Fuentes here, because as soon as you go Nick Fuentes, then his people come and they come into the chat and they try to act like he's normal. He's not. Okay, and that it's scary when you're exposed to those people, and you are telling us to get into bed with those people, Sargon, and I'm not for that. I'm okay for them to their leaders to be spoken to. I mean, you speak to your enemy, fine, but joining them, not a fuck. Sorry, I'm sorry. It's
And he's only like 27. He's been through the ringer. He's really been through it, and he's still
I don't care.
going, and so that turns him into a kind of Robin Hood figure. People
I'm almost done.
find that appealing, and I'm sorry, but he does have some virtues of his own, right? He is funny.
Yeah, he's funny. Yes, very entertaining or whatever, and he's gotten an audience. That's it. You can understand the appeal, whatever. Because I'm glad that some of the audience is just there because he says the shit that nobody wants to say, and that's freaking exciting. But as Davina said earlier on, I hope that people just age out of that, because it's like, okay, you learn that swearing, like you start swearing when you're older, then it's like, okay, you can stop swearing in every single sentence now. Okay, it's cool. It's not that cool. Relax. So I hope that that's what's going on. But yeah, virtues. Yes, I am an advocate of everybody has humanity. Go and watch the touch grass thing, where we got to remember that this is a human across the aisle from us, and the way that assimilation actually happens is you are reminded that somebody is a human. But I guess his argument here is they don't see you as human, so you shouldn't see them as human. In terms of the far left, just I understand that let us see each other as human. Good, fine. You can say he has some virtues, but his foibles, the flaws that he has, makes me not want to be friends with him. Sorry, and not want to. I don't know. It would be better if people didn't like him.
He is lucid. He's able to speak clearly and engagingly about the subjects, even if you don't like what he says. He's still a good communicator. And to be honest with
you, yeah, well, a good communicator. He's a good clickbait person, because it seems he does a rant and that's it. His monologues are and everyone loves it. Cool. So far with the discussions he's had with Tucker, and I've only got 35 minutes into it. I haven't watched the whole thing. Maybe I'll watch the whole thing this weekend so that I can have a little bit of an idea of how long everything will take to get through next week. But yeah, he can have a nice conversation without losing his shit at someone when somebody is placating him. And that makes him a good communicator? No, it makes Tucker the good communicator. It makes Tucker, because I've noted in my diagram when Tucker has softballed him and softened his criticisms in order to not make waves, so that he can keep the guy talking. That's it. That's not a virtue. That's just, it's okay. It's not like I'm out here like, wow, he's so great. It's just that's society. That's being part of that. Having a conversation is fine. But that does not now mean that I'm now going to agree with him. Anyway,
he is funny. Like, I see a bunch of the clips going around, especially the ones where he's been.
Yes, I have laughed at him too. He's funny. Cool. I have laughed at him too, but that's because if I took it as a joke, it's funny. But then I realized, no, wait. Sorry. It's not just a joke. He actually freaking believes the stuff. Okay. All those jokes that people make on, like, we make them on Circle of Jerks. Literally, it's the Circle of Jerks. You go and you find jerky things to say about what we're watching. But you don't truly believe the stuff you're saying, right? He does. So it's not that funny.
Did it into like a restaurant or something, and it's some insanely racist rant. And they are funny. They are genuinely funny. And I can see why they're popular. I mean, I personally have plenty of criticisms of him for being a gay Zoomer, but the Zoomer men didn't make themselves. They are the product of the feminist system that the conservatives permitted to exist and form them into that thing that they are now. We collectively ought to have been more concerned with their well-being. But we...
Yeah, this discussion's happened with Andrew Tate, right? Remember, we've spoken about, are men okay, that whole thing. Andrew, they've fallen by the wayside. because of these problems. Like, I mean, if we go back to last week's reaction with the men are men okay, that whole thing, the sexual revolution, actually, the wide availability of porn and that sort of thing seems to have also really damaged men. And now what do? They have nothing. They're lonely. They're hated. Why not join another a group of people? This is how cults happen. Is vulnerable people come together and they follow a charismatic leader. That's Nick Fuentes. He's charismatic. He gets people. They feel like they belong. They feel like they're a part of a movement. Here we go. It works. Why promote him? He craves attention. Okay, so that's the thing, though. Is it promotion when you are talking to him and exposing his weaknesses, exposing his idiocy? Like the thing that he brings up, he tries to say that Ben Shapiro is cancelled him or whatever, and the Daily Wire is the reason he got fired or something like that. There's no evidence for it. And Tucker goes, "Oh, really? Did that really happen?" And he goes, "Well, I'm 99% sure." And Tucker just goes, "Well, that's interesting." Now, you hope smart enough people will go, "Yeah, that is interesting," because he doesn't have actual evidence or proof for that. Like you're hoping that happens. That's not exactly promoting him. Promoting him is, hey, he's got a point, Sargon. No. Rather, yeah, if he has a point, you say he has a point there, but he also needs to stop his shit. Like, so that's what I want to see next week, where we would have inserted, if we were Tucker, where we would have said, actually, he has a little bit of a poke. Yeah, the part of the reason you talk about Nick Fuentes is because he's got a following. Unfortunately, if he was me, if he was my size, nobody's going to talk about him. But he isn't. That's the thing. Like, we talk about Hassan all the freaking time. I suppose there is an argument to be made. Maybe if we didn't speak about him, nobody would watch him. But it seems like they're going to watch him anyway, and more people will. I don't know where I stand. It seems like it's better to show how you disagree. The sunlight disinfectant discussion. Yeah.
Relied on a series of assumptions that didn't hold up in the new demographic reality. We assumed that men and women are just interchangeable as teachers. Turns out that's not true. If you want a feminized workplace, have it so that 75% of the teachers are women, and you won't get the kind of masculine energy counterbalancing the feminine energy. It doesn't matter about the qualities of the teacher.
Yeah, okay, I'm understanding that. You do. I'm in agreement. Masculine influence is needed to keep boys under control. Testosterone needs testosterone, boys. We're not equipped to deal with men by ourselves. We need other men. We need good men.
Teaching, what matters is the character of the teaching itself. But we let that go. We decided, no, that's for some reason not something conservatives are prepared to stand on. Why not say, no, we want half of the teachers being straight white men and we will accept nothing less? Why would
because that's prescriptive, yeah, I suppose. So I suppose you're saying, why did we not do what the left did, where it's like, here's affirmative action and I want a queer teacher and a blah 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 blah. Accept nothing less. Why didn't we do that? Because then it is social engineering, and that's representation. You've had arguments against representation, Sargon. You've had arguments against it, and now you're okay with it.
We not do that? That would have been the responsible thing to do for these young men. But the Conservatives didn't stand on that. We let that go. I say we because I feel I am just as culpable, frankly.
At least you've taken some blame, because you were in the beginning of the thing saying you thought you won, blah blah blah.
In all this, and it's not like it's going to be an easy road back either. Like, I don't think the previous paradigm is coming back. I think that's a historical artifact whose time has gone. And now,
okay, that's a good thing. Thank you. The previous thing, are you talking about the leftoid? Because that's you've in this video you've said it's not lost, so it hasn't been defeated. So I would say in context you're saying the racist past is not coming back. That's good. Thank you. We didn't want that. but I don't really know. He's just flirting with this whole idea of like, yeah, I still don't want to be Nick Fuentes.
Now,
I don't.
what we have is a very large number of young, straight, white men who have been villainized their whole lives,
Mhm.
and I actually don't blame them for deciding that they've had enough.
Okay, you don't blame them for deciding they've had enough. I understand that. I don't blame them for deciding they've had enough, but I want them to come back. I don't want them to stay this way. I don't think we need to push them further towards that and say it's okay. Find another way to speak to them. He's had enough with what? Had enough with people hating on. There's Axel coming out of the loo, guys. He's had enough of people hating on cis white men. Fuentes hates his own audience. He has fantasies about his followers dying for him. You know what? That's what I was hoping, is that it actually even is a grift, that he doesn't actually believe the things he says. Maybe that is a thing. People have said the same thing about Hassan, that he hates his what do you call it? His audience. But he just says what they want to hear, and he keeps the audience therefore. Point is, he still says it. So yeah. Anyway, there is Axel. I hope he jumps on here while I talk to you guys. But I'm going to say goodbye now. This has been a much longer stream than I expected. We got a lot more serious. Hey, there is another video that I would have done. I would have actually done. Amir Odom. He's reacting to Nick Fuentes clips. Maybe I'll do that if it's a 58-minute video, so I don't think I'll be able to do a react video on it. But either way, it was great. I had fun. Had a lot more fun with the Sargon video than I did with the Sweeney. Yeah, that's it for streaming this week, and for slop reacting this week. We'll get back into it next week. Sargon is right. We've had enough. You'll never take our hot robot mommies from us. You know what? Maybe that's the future. I don't want us going back to discrimination. I'm sorry. I don't know. You're not going to convince me. Maybe like I guess I'm naive, and I'm okay. I'm happy to stay that way. I'm happy to stay principled. I understand that you got to play dirty, and I understand that it's difficult and politics is horrible, but at the same time, I'm just not going to believe the things that Nick Fuentes believes just because it's expedient. Sorry for you. I'm just not. But yeah, go and get your hot robot mommy. And just know that the operator is probably going to be a man, because AI is not that smart yet. Anyway, guys, it's been a lot of fun. I'll see you guys next week. Have a great weekend. Go and subscribe to my gaming channel on YouTube if you've been watching on YouTube, because I might stream a game this weekend. I will be on Zaxby's channel as well on Saturday night for America, Sunday morning for everyone else. Yeah, have a nice life, kids.
I'll see you next time, shall we? Head